You'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets cheer for all your Mets here. Let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home
exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
What's up, Met fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets with Rob. How is everybody doing on this late night Mets game on the West Coast? Hopefully everybody is doing well, and welcome to Mets PreGame Live right here on Talking Mets with Rob. Hopefully everybody got their coffee, got their cookies, because it's like a morning type of situation here, right? When it comes to night games on the West Coast, right here on the East Coast, because well, 10 o'clock games, 9:40 games, they suck. Let's not make any excuse about it. They're not fun at all, especially if you got to wake up early in the morning to go to work, like myself. But that's okay because we got Mets baseball, and Ken just said, duh, Yankees lose, and yes, they did. And look, Carlos Correa, huh? Got three out of the 4 RBIs for the the Twins today. Yeah, Geraldo, lucky you. You're on the West Coast, so you're lucky. You get one of those nice early type of games, or even earlier for you. That's the only good thing about the West Coast, right? That you can watch every game, and it's kind of like early for you guys, which is pretty cool. So especially if you're a fan of the East Coast team, then you live on the West Coast. But you know what? These are also fun times as sports fans in general, right? When you go on a West Coast trip, especially like this, because it feels like Met fans are the only ones. If your team is there, your fan base feel like the only one that is up watching, right? It's like everybody's asleep and you're watching the game with other Mets fans. And I don't know if you guys are following Twitter, but somebody put a hashtag that says Mets Twitter after dark. That's like the hashtag theme for the Mets West Coast trip, the 10-game West Coast trip. So these games are always fun. These games, West Coast games, always do well on the channel. So I do expect a pretty good crowd here tonight. probably during the West Coast trip during the channels. I believe I'm doing 7 out of 10 games during the West Coast trip. There's a couple of games that are like 4 o'clock as well. Earlier on in the day because of the weekend games and stuff like that. So if you haven't seen it, I will post my West Coast schedule live streams after the end of the game, so you guys can see it. If you want to check my community page, it's already up there, and you got the full schedule of what I'm going to do there on the West Coast trips, because a lot of people like these West Coast trips. And just so everybody knows, the giveaway video is actually completely done. It took a while to edit because there was a lot of different things I wanted to do within that giveaway thing. I kind of have a bonus thing that I wanted to do, so I added that on. So it's finally done. So I will be posting it probably sometime during this West Coast trip. So again, if you did donate to the channel during that time I told you to, the $5 donation, and you can do it as many times as you want, and you'll get the chance to win a free giveaway. And the giveaway is Met shirt with any player you want on the back, and that's what you'll get. And of course, I'll put some other goodies inside that bag as well. So if you haven't been paying attention, yesterday Brett Beatty and of course Ronnie Mauricio went deep again. Again with Beatty as well. Jesus, Ronnie Mauricio and Beatty are just killing it. So Epler was at Scranton Wilkes-Barre yesterday. Beatty and Mauricio hit home runs, and they played well. Tonight, Beatty hits a grand slam. Mauricio hits a home run and goes 4 for 5. So I don't know what the Mets are doing, but we'll see what they can do. And there's a lot of indications that there is something going to be going down in the next couple of days in regards to Beatty and possibly Mauricio. And I think this is, people saw the lineup. It says, what the hell are the Mets doing? Why and Alvarez is there? Why is Vogelback or Escobar? Well, the reason is you're playing the Oakland A's, and they're giving these guys one last chance and opportunity to do something productive for this lineup. And I think if they don't show it in this Oakland series, I would not be shocked if Vogelback gets DFA'd and Escobar is sitting his ass on the bench and Mauricio and Beatty come up during that Dodger series or right before the Dodger series to bring a little bit of rejuvenation to this lineup, youth to this lineup, energy in this lineup. And even if Beatty and Mauricio are not crushing the ball like they are in AAA and they're adequate and average, it's a hell of a lot better than, an under 100 average for Escobar and Vogelback, no power at all. And that's the problem that we're seeing right now. But with all that being said, when it comes to, and yes, Robert, Mauricio is a switch hitter as well. So even though the Mets offense has been somewhat anemic for the most part this year, they still won 3 out of 4 series, right? Everybody. I mean, and then people killed the Mets bottom of the lineup. Did you watch the Padres bottom of the lineup? The last 3 games against the Mets. I mean, they were they're terrible, like absolutely terrible, and they're not good at all either. Like, there's not a lot of lineups that have 6 to 9 that is raking all over the place. So, and the Mets might have the opportunity to bring up 2 guys from their system that could really help this lineup. Again, we don't know, but I'd rather see them give them a chance than just sticking with the guys that are out doing absolutely nothing. But because we're playing the A's, and I think the Mets and, of course, fans feel pretty good against this series, that maybe we can see some type of life from Vogelback and Escobar. And these 2 guys are on the fringe right now. There's no doubt about that. I don't think they're going to DFA Escobar. I think Escobar still can be utilized or productive as a utility guy. Guy that might have to play defense late in the game, but he's been very good defensively, or maybe just a pinch hit appearance late in the game, just in case if you need it. If you want to pitch it for Nito, or you want to pitch it for somebody that if Canna doesn't do well against right-handed hitters, you can pitch it Escobar late in the game, and he's a switch hitter, stuff like that. So I think Escobar will still be on this team, but a guy like LaCastro, who the Mets like, but at the same time, you still also got to get on base, and you still got to, LaCastro can be a guy that will provide speed, but you also got to get people on for him as well so you can pinch run. But when it comes down to it, we have to make sure that you get these people on base and you have people to drive in those runs. And the Mets don't have that 6 through 9. After Alonso and with tonight lineup with McNeil batting fifth, after the fifth spot, it's kind of like hope, pray to whatever guy you pray to see if somebody can actually drive in a freaking run. Because we don't have problem getting on base. I think in the Padres series, we left nearly 20 men on base. And in 3 games, I think we left about 12 men in scoring position. You can't do that. I mean, if the Padres actually look competent offensively, the Mets could easily lost 2 or 3 of those games. So, I see people talking about Epler. Epler is very slow paced with his decisions. He doesn't make them quickly. And I know people get pissed off about that, but again, there is scouts, there is people telling them, and I think, having Billy Epler at the minor league game, I think he got a little bit of a better feel of not just seeing the stats or seeing the highlights and saying, okay, look what Beatty and Mauricio are doing. Seeing it in person, seeing how the energy they bring to the lineup, the pure athleticism from these 2 guys are just insane. Like, I mean, Beatty's hitting basically 400. Mauricio's hitting like 340. And the power is there for both of those guys. Again, even if the power doesn't translate to Major League Baseball, even if they drop 100 points off their average, they're still a hell of a lot better than what we have. So we got to wait and see what the Mets are going to do. And I do think Vogelback and Escobar, it's like a show me type of series against the A's. These 3 games here is going to determine if Vogelback is not going to be DFA'd or Escobar is going to be sitting his ass on the bench and get him 2 starts, 1 start a week, because Beatty and Mauricio are going to come up. I have that feeling that the Mets are finally going to give Mauricio that opportunity as well. So we got about 10 minutes until game time. We are going to go with the lineups for both teams. And just so you guys know, or at least for the Mets, we're going to do the lineup for that. And as you guys, as always, make sure you please hit on that like button. We got 42 in the stream already before the game, which is not shocking because West Coast games do very well on this channel. And it's going to be a fun time, especially everybody else is asleep and we're the nutcase is staying up to watch a baseball game. So with the Mets and their lineup, now we do have to make sure that we know that Kodai Senga is pitching, and James Caprillion, who is a Yankee farmhand prospect in their farm system, was traded to Oakland as well. It seems like the Oakland A's pitchers are all Yankee pitchers, who we're also going to see J.P. Sears in this series as well, who is probably one of their better pitchers right now. So here we go, guys. Mets lineup 4-14 against the Athletics. 7-6 record for the Mets. Starting with the Mets lineup, Brandon Nimmo leading off playing center field. Starlin Marte batting second, playing right field. Francisco Lindor batting third, playing shortstop. Pete Alonso cleaning up, playing first base. Jeff McNeil batting fifth. I think a lot of people do like that. And he is playing left field today for the Mets in Oakland. Daniel Vogelback batting sixth, DHing. Eduardo Escobar batting seventh, playing third base. Luis Guillorme again to start at second base, batting eighth. And Tomas Nido is catching, batting ninth. That is your Mets starting lineup against James Caprillion. I believe he's a left-hander, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. He might be right-handed. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. Let me just double check on that. I think he's right-handed, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, he is right-handed. Yeah, because that's why Vogelback is in the lineup. So that is your lineup for the Mets. It is scrolling on the bottom of your screen. If you're just tuning in, just make sure that you hit on that like button, and let's get more people in this stream for the first game of the West Coast trip. And no Keith Hernandez, but we do have Ron Dolan and Gary Cohen on the call today for SNY. Yeah, it looks like the Rays are going to lose. Joe, let's not hope that. All right. So as you guys know, Kodai Senga is on the mound. 11 and 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 6 walks, 14 strikeouts, and 2 starts. You'd like to get those walks down a little bit, even though his second start he had a little bit more walks. I think he got most of his walks in the second game. So, but he does got to, if you're gonna pitch 5 innings, 5 and a third, 5 and 2/3, you definitely gotta hold those walks a little bit because he's going to get a decent amount of strikeouts, which is going to increase his pitch count. And he has not got to the sixth inning, past the sixth inning yet. And I think at some point Mets do want to see that as well. Let's see. Joe, you sent me something, I'm assuming. What Met news did we get? Oh, there we go. Manager Buck Showalter offered an update on Justin Verlander right teres major strain. Verlander is scheduled to throw a bullpen today or tomorrow in Florida. If that goes well, he'll throw another side before facing live batters and then may be ready for game action. And Tommy Hunter pitched in AAA and looked good, 20 pitches. So we're getting some pitches back. It looks like Verlander is on his way back. I wouldn't be shocked if he does not come back until we come back from our 10-game road trip. All right, here we go. All right, guys, so let's get a Let's Go Mets chant in the chat. So we got about 7 minutes until game time. And once again, as you guys know, during this stream, you get the game audio from SNY. I know a lot of people enjoy that because a lot of people do not get SNY, especially if you're not in the New York market. You kind of get the national game or you have to listen to the road broadcasters. And I know people love the road broadcasters for the Mets games. So that's why I think a lot of people like this channel and during the live streams for the Met games. And also, guys, remember, there's going to be a lot of live streams for this West Coast trip. So we're going to get a lot of time to discuss the Mets games, the previous games, the games ahead, and all that fun stuff. But it is important. I put it on the poll up there. I don't know what's winning right now. If you guys can tell me, because I cannot check the poll while I'm live. But the poll is how many games you think the Mets going to win during this road trip, during this 10-game road trip. Let me know in the comment, guys, what is winning. I think anything. Look, I don't think if you go 500, 5-5 on the West Coast trip, it's not an easy West Coast trip. Your last 7 games on the trip is Dodgers and Giants. A good start, 7 wins is winning. That's interesting. I'm surprised by that, but 7 wins would be 7-3 would be great. But you know what? Let's start by sweeping these A's. You win the first 3 games. You can split with the Giants and take 1 game against the Dodgers, and that's a 6-4 road trip, which is pretty good still. So all you have to do is take 1 more game from the other games that you lost from the Dodgers and the Giants. Pick one of those games that you win, and you got your 7 wins. So it's not the craziest thing that the Mets can, but you have to sweep the A's. I'm sorry. This team is terrible. They strike out a ton. They don't got a lot of offense. They're a low-scoring team. The Mets need to score runs. Get out early and give this team no chance. And that's the most important thing. And as you guys know, tomorrow, or unless you don't know, Jackie Robinson Day is tomorrow, April 15th, as you well know. So everybody will be wearing 42 on the back of their jersey. I got a cool custom thumbnail that I will post after the stream to start the live stream for tomorrow. It's all Jackie Robinson themed, which is pretty cool. So it will be fun to do a live stream during the Jackie Robinson Day. So that's always important because just think of it this way, guys. There wouldn't be a lot of players that would be in Major League Baseball if it wasn't for Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier, right? Even the Latin American players, right? So it's a big deal. It makes sense. He started, something that was a big deal in this country, and now it's really emulated around sports, and that's something that we can all get around. And of course, celebrating Jackie Robinson. Not that just that he was black; he was a great ball player as well. So that's always fun to see. And yes, it is the 1973 World Series, even though we don't like to talk about that. because the A's did beat the Mets, even though the Mets should have won that series. So here we go, guys. The game is about to start. We're about 2 minutes out. Once again, hit on that like button. Let me just put up game day up, make sure it fills out correctly, and we'll be ready to go. All right, so I'm just going to set it up right now, guys. Just give me a second, as always. Just making sure that everything goes through. As you know, game day is kind of fun with this stuff. So we got about 60 in the stream right now. So that's actually a good sign before the game. So I would not be shocked if we hit 100 or even a little bit more during this West Coast game to start the West Coast trip. Go. So we're looking good. Everything is set up well. That's a good sign. Just want to make sure my background. There we go. That's what I like to see. So first pitch is 9:40. Game day is up and ready to go. Mets obviously are coming up in the top of the first. Nimmo, Marte Lindor to start the game. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. And when the game starts, you guys know. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear the audio. I will raise up the volume in a few minutes. And I want to make sure you guys can hear it. Yes, I changed it up because I'm doing a new video for the 2023 season because my old intro is 2022, and I've been a little behind on my intro video. I wanted to get a new one out there for 2023. But yes, I will have one up soon. If you're successful, like, what do you mean, like, by benefits? Like, I mean, they consider benefits as like, well, you make money off of views and memberships and stuff. Because I mean, do I have? No, I'm just tired. Committee. It might be the shadows too with the TV and all that too. I don't know. I have my screen on kind of low. Let me see. It look like that? I don't know. Do I look messed up? Let's see. Let me see. No, I'm just tired. I promise. Like insurance and shit? No. I don't know. Like insurance? I'm not sure what kind of insurance you mean, though. But no, not really. Just you mean like insurance? No, God no. It's all untaxed income that you get. So. No. It's kind of like your own business, basically. Every channel is your own business, if you want to make it that. All right, guys. So they're showing whatever bridge that is. I'm assuming they go across the bay from San Francisco to Oakland or Oakland to San Francisco. Obviously, we're on the other side of the bay to start in Oakland, which is kind of weird because the Mets go to Oakland, then down south to LA, and then come back up north to go play San Francisco. I don't know why they just play Oakland and then play San Francisco. But what are you going to do, right? I don't make the schedule. So in this cavernous Coliseum that the A's play in, James Caprillion is warming up. Game's about to start. So here we go, guys. Listen up. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear the game stream. The Mets are not going to get a JL. They're going to be the final group next year with the City Connect.
It was real good in the second half of last season, but it started off slow. And defensively, in the outfield, Langoliers, so they got to be a lot of way.
All right, guys, let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear it.
Last year, Tony Kemp, athletic player at second base. Diaz, of course, a world champion on that just roster. And in the outfield, Connor Capel in left field, Ron Laureano in right field, both have fantastic arms, great speed by Ruiz in center.
Ken, you know, it always happens with one pitcher. Well, it's the first time we've seen the New York Presbyterian patch on the gray jerseys. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's huge. At least you're going to change it soon because that looks terrible. All right, so they're a little late to start the game. Minute late. You know, they act like people don't have work here. But see if the Mets can get a start early with nobody in the ballpark, which is not surprising. All right, Nimmo's coming to the plate.
There's a lot of things to overcome.
See if the Mets start early here and get some runs on the board early.
Trip of the season, a 10-gamer, 3 here in Oakland, 3 in LA, 4 in San Francisco. And Nimmo leads things off, coming off the 3-hit, 2 RBI game on Wednesday in the series finale against the Padres. James Brilliant, the 29-year-old right-hander from UCLA, ready for the first pitch of the game. And a fastball in for a strike, and we're underway. Nimmo, Marte, and Lindor against Brilliant, who last year was really good early in games. First time around the batting order, opponents hit just 184 against him. And then he weakened a bit as he went along. Popped a mile high on the left side of the infield, and Chase Peterson, the veteran third baseman, puts it away for the first out. Mounting quick stats, we mentioned in the open, since earned runs became a thing in 19.
Starter ERA 9.93 for the Athletics this year, and the Mets might make him look like Cy Young.
58 innings by the starters, 16 home runs allowed.
The Red Sox in 2019 on that list, a year after they won the World Series.
Starling Marte played here for about 2 months in 2021 before he came to the Mets. Marte had a 6-game hitting streak stopped on Wednesday. He's enjoyed hitting here, lifetime 328 in this ballpark with 22 RBIs in 32 games.
The problem here also
Making this guy look like freaking Cy Young. Jesus.
Sunshine. It's a trouble field for the right fielder. I know. Spent a lot of time here with Ruben Sierra in right field.
1-1 to Marte. Swing and miss and a high fastball, 1-2. And second pitch, though, really into a sinker, which is a pitch that he's incorporating more this year. Kodai's second year as the Oakland manager after Bob Melvin left, following 4 terrific years in a row for Oakland.
The reason that we're hearing a lot about pitchers coming off their 4-seamer, going to the 2-seamers, because not everybody can pitch.
Agreed, Ichiro. Agree.
That's what happened to Brilliant.
2-2 to Marte with Francisco Lindor on deck. And Marte
Ground ball.
one to the right side.
This might be a base hit. It is. Infield hit for Marte. Playing a little bit of that shift on the right side. Gave Marte an infield single with 1 out.
You know, Gary, he was playing so far up the middle that it was hit softly enough before he could even get close to it. Marte, one of the more beautiful runners you see, turns it on, smells the hit, and really go play for 2.
Yeah, but you know what? They almost got the record. Or at least the record for, like, you know, this time period. We need Lindor to start getting hot left-handed.
Francisco Lindor at the plate. What was that? Did we get a clock violation?
Oh, clock violation from the pitcher.
Clock violation called against Brilliant.
All right, clock violation from the pitcher. So it's going to start with ball 1.
Let's see. Does he start the motion before 0? No, he does not. So it's a clock violation.
But did they put it to 20 seconds? I'd like to see that again, because that was pretty quick. I wonder if they did it 15 or went to 20 like they're supposed to.
Here's the thing about the call, though. The umpire has a buzzer on his person. So as soon as that clock hits 0, he should be popping out from behind there and not allowing the pitch to be thrown. So the umpires are still getting adjusted to all their new responsibilities. Lindor, 368 lifetime in this ballpark, better than any active player. And his best mark in any ballpark. Played 19 games here. Slog for Lindor batting left-handed early in the season. Good batting right-handed. Looks like he's been pulling off a little from the left side. Brilliant behind 2-0, and Lindor picks that one down. So fast
spent a lot of his last start behind the Rays hitter, so trying to get in pitchers' counts. In case Marte runs, Langoliers has a great arm behind the plate.
Speaking of the Rays, they just lost for the first time this year, 6-3 in Toronto, so they're still unbeaten in the U.S.
And that's a pop-up. That's way up there.
Loriano jogging in on
2 outs.
2 away, 2 out. So the Blue Jays, the first team with winning record that Tampa Bay has played this year. A lot of records, probably they're 13. And sure enough, St. Rios and the Jays beat the Rays 6-3.
And Rios really struggled in his first couple of starts, so he turned it around.
2 outs, 1 on, Alonso up.
So I can update. Final. Here's Alonso, who really tore it up here last year and 2 home runs drove in 7 in the 3-game series. He tied for the Major League lead coming into the day with 6 home runs. 12 RBIs, 4th in the National League. Marte is first and 2 out. McNeil would be next. Watches the fastball low and away 2-0. It's sort of characterized being over the course of his career since he started in 2019 is the fact that he has been able to answer the bell virtually every day. Some players have played more games than he since he started his career. Going behind him 2-0. A fastball line in the left.
Here we go.
And he's in. Chased toward the line by Cable. Marte will go first to third. The throw goes to third, and that enables Alonso to take the extra
All right.
base.
Second and third.
First base, and Cable had thrown to second as he should have. And so the Mets get an extra base on a poor decision by Cable.
Well, first, trying to throw that.
Pete went to go down that low fastball and gets it down the line.
Is down. He is covering anything down right now. Cable's got to
All right. The guy you want up with 2 outs and 2 on, runners in scoring position, Jeff McNeil.
First base, second base. Alonso stops once he sees that Cable.
Good base running by Pete.
Beautiful base running to take the extra base.
See if we can get 2 first inning runs here. Jeff wasn't happy with that call.
Griping about that with Dan Isonia. Jeff all of a sudden being a walk machine. Walked 3 times on Wednesday, 9 walks in his last 6 games. It's been a huge part of his game. Only has a 389 on base percentage. Now we count quickly here, 0-2.
And need a pitch calm for the way he really pitched in this first inning. Primarily fastballs on the big right hand.
Base hits by Marte and Alonso, but 2 in scoring position with 2 out. Really not a big strikeout guy last year, just 6.6 Ks per 9. Head on McNeil 0-2. He just takes a slide with his feet. That's 1-2. Daniel Vogelbach would be next.
Come on, Jeff.
Crowds aren't loud or large here, but they are lively. There's a lot of noise per capita. And McNeil pops one up on the infield. Langoliers in foul territory, puts it away.
And the Mets do not score and leave 2 runners in scoring position in the top of the first. This seems like a trend for our Mets. Once again, the Mets get runners on and don't get it done. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. But you know what? You got the guys you wanted to come up. You know what? Not a lot of other guys you would want with runners on with 2 outs, and it's Jeff McNeil, so he didn't get it done. Well, at least Correa had 3 RBIs on the Twins today. Well, Ken, that's the problem with McNeil, and we've said it a lot. And look, McNeil's a great hitter, you know, batting title champion, but he isn't a guy. He's not a run producer. He never was, never will be. This is why that, you know, putting him 5th when people say, oh, McNeil's a good hitter. Yes, but he's better in situational hitting, getting the guy over the first to third, getting a single, base hit. When there's runners in scoring position, Jeff McNeil is not that good. Look at his average run in scoring position. It's well under 300, and I think it's around 2 and change, 230, 240. It's not that much better than a lot of people in this lineup when it comes to runners in scoring position. He's the problem with Jeff McNeil in this lineup is the fact that when you have Marte, when you have Nimmo, those are your guys that have been so productive at the top of your order that you're not going to move them to put Jeff McNeil. And that's the problem that the Mets are having to place in McNeil in the lineup. And this is why McNeil should be at the bottom of the order, because it helps the bottom of the order. And that's the reason why McNeil has been batting when people are like, why is he batting 6th or 7th? Because of that fact. Because McNeil is more comfortable. He even said it, Jeff McNeil. He likes to bat 6th or 7th. All right, guys. So Senga's on the mound. No score, bottom of the first.
Very little hits.
Good night, Ken.
Pitched.
Tony Kemp leads off for the A's and hits the first pitch on the ground right at game.
One pitch, one out.
pitch and 1 out for Senga. So Kemp wasting no time. Right
By the way,
5 pick from
the cups that the souvenir cups for the month is Buck Showalter
Great hot streak right now.
that they're doing at Citi Field. Every month they get a new souvenir cup.
The A's team that it's actually scored some runs.
I'm assuming Verlander would be one of them very soon as well.
Hard to overcome their pitching. Right, noted 6
See how Senga, how aggressive he is with this young lineup.
Out of the Dodgers system, which was adopted by Toronto. He hit for 25 home runs in the minor leagues last year. Senga worked very quickly and he drops the fourth ball low and it's 2-1.
Remember, he faced Miami back-to-back. The second time he faced Miami, he threw a lot of first-pitch fastballs. Maybe that's why Kemp was spiking first pitch.
Hey, Eric, what's up? Nice pitch.
Cut of the cutter, and this is it's 2-2.
That was a nasty cutter.
Beautiful pitch. That ball maybe moved 3 inches.
I mean, the fourth ball has gotten most of the attention, and rightly so. He's got 12.
Oh, you did President? Yeah, I collect. I have about 120 of those souvenir cups over probably the last 10 years since they've been doing it. Come on, Kodai, let's go.
All been working for him through his first 2 starts. And he goes to the fourth ball, and this is down 3-2.
That's right.
And they played music during the game.
Yes, sir, Sam.
The fans in the right field bleachers
I'm excited right now,
and us.
depending on what the Mets do.
You know,
They play the drums. They have a party. They wear sequin clothes. And when they're going really good here, that whole stands are usually packed. There we go. Gotta have a blower.
you know the Raiders aren't here anymore, so they got to go somewhere. 3-2 coming. Go to foul back to fastball 98. Just to give a measure of how good Senga's been through his first 2 starts, the mustache again. In National League history, how many pitchers in their first 2 starts have won, giving up 3 runs, 7 hits, 14 strikeouts?
Large. Let's see.
And Kazish. That's it. He's the 3rd in National League history. In his first 2 starts, give up.
It is very low, Griffey. I mean, I have my volume up pretty loud, and it's still low. I think it's the
Long at bat here for Noda.
popped it up. See if Nito or Alonso get it, and Nito makes the catch. 2 outs.
A little different to change.
So yeah, I think because this stadium is so large that I don't think the volume is pretty loud. So how many? I'm gonna go with 6 and 4 road trip. I think that would be pretty good considering these West Coast trips. No matter who you play is tough, especially a 10-game road trip. So I would say 6 and 4, which I take. 2 games over 500.
so over his brief
Well,
career.
Stezo, just think of it this way.
Rays and Royals.
If the Mets weren't playing, you had like 2,000 fans. So
Schoolboy football player from Tennessee.
see if Senga gets his first strikeout here.
2 from Senga. He tops the
Ooh,
fork ball on the outside corner. He thought
that was a
he had the
nasty
ball, didn't
pitch.
get the swing. That was 1-2.
It was too good of a pitch for Dan Iasonia not to call. Almost a perfect pitch.
1-2 to Rooker, and he bounces that fork ball. It's 2-2.
No, Jason, they're banging the drums in the outfield with the A's fans out of there. That's why it's drowning out the sound as well. They're banging drums in the outfield. It's kind of annoying.
88 big league games, lifetime 211 hitter with 13 home runs. Again, the 2-2.
And he strikes him out.
Ball in the dirt. Nino watches.
And Senga goes 1-2-3 to go to the top of the second. No score for our Mets. All right, sorry guys, I'm just checking my the sound there. All right. Yeah, exactly. That's one strikeout for Kodai Senga, which is good. Yeah, I know those drums. I know we can actually hear, like you can hear it louder than the actual broadcast from Gary and Ron right now. So once again, guys, you just tuning in. Don't forget to please hit on that like button. The Mets and A's are at no score right now, going to the top of the second. The Mets will have up 6, 7, 8, and that is Vogelbach, Escobar, and Guillorme for the Mets. And let's see if they can actually hit Caprillion. That would be nice. No, we made the starters for the A's have a 9.93 ERA this season. And it's the worst. And the Mets got to get it done. Got to score runs. Don't like, these young teams like this, there's no pressure. There's no pressure for these young kids at all. There's no pressure to win. A lot of these guys are going to be in the big leagues no matter if they fail or be good for at least this year. So there's really no pressure on them. You don't want to keep them in the ball game because they build up a little more confidence. Hey, we're facing the big mighty Mets. Let's not, let's take this game. You don't want to keep them going. You want to blow their confidence out of the water. That's why not scoring those runs, at least one, you got to score early. Get these guys out of their rhythm. A lot of these young kids, you get them out of their rhythm, they're basically done for that, at least that game. So, yes, I get that. But, at the moment, I think we're too focused on who's winning in the division and just got to take care of business. If you take care of your own business, it usually settles at some point during the year where you're going to be around where the rest of the teams are in your division if you take care of your own business. All right, Vogelbach is up. Second inning, no score.
Well, it does. David Vogelbach takes curveball for a strike from James Caprillion as we start the second. Vogelbach off to a good
Cowboys
start.
season,
29
I
on
know.
base percentage.
Late nights games are fun.
Mets have faced so many lefties
Come on, Bogey.
lately going. First 13 games, they faced 7 left-handed starters. It's quite unusual. Really, this is again with curveball. It's 1-1. Escobar and Guillorme to follow. It's at 2 in scoring position in the first inning, but really didn't get out of it by getting Jeff McNeil to pop up. That takes the fastball inside to a float. It's a beautiful night. It's 56 degrees at game time in Oakland. It's nice when you have cool evenings in these West Coast ballparks. It's true in San Francisco. It's true in LA. That you never seem to get the wind blowing in. Let's get that wind out of the west off of the ocean.
If there is wind, a lot of times it's very calm at night.
It's unusually comfortable, 56 degrees. 3-1 to Vogelbach. And takes fastball down the middle.
I never understand Vogelbach. 3-1 count, hit his count. He takes a pitch right down the middle.
That's it. Really struggled.
Like, I don't need you walking, my friend.
9th on base percentage for only 13th in runs.
And now swinging the ball out in dirt.
And Vogelback is on with another walk. He's got quite the knack, right?
It's interesting at that. 3 ball, he took a fastball right down the middle, but worked the walk. So no harm, no foul.
So the Mets get the leadoff in out of the second now. Eduardo
All right, Escobar, this is probably the series where he needs to show something.
We don't mean to pile on to Escobar, but Brett Beatty hit a grand slam tonight for Syracuse, and it seems like that's happening just about every day. Bounces away from Langeliers, but no chance for Vogelback to think about it.
I'm throwing the flag here. What can you do? You just got to report
Just
it.
reporting it, and
Exactly.
you know, fans are clamoring for Beatty to be called up. That's what they're doing, but they're inclined to. We're 2 weeks into the season with no reason to be making any kind of move other than the one that's right. One to Escobar.
So you're saying that social media is not going to drive them to bring Beatty up before they want to?
There was a time when that might have been the case. I don't think in the current incarnation of the Mets Brain Trust that is going to happen. Yorme waits on deck. 1-1 to Escobar. And he drives one out to right field, right at Laureano, who makes the catch.
Hits it hard and right at the right fielder.
Does not get hit the ball hard. He hit that one hard.
Of course, one of the hardest balls Escobar hit all year,
Well,
right to the right fielder.
mentioned Beatty hitting the grand slam tonight.
9 games in AAA, having 405 home runs and 15 RBIs with an OPS of 1,386 for Beatty in AAA. You think he's ready?
I just didn't know whether didn't know whether the game was over or they had a chance to incorporate that into their graphic. Guys, very up to date.
All right, Guillaume up, batting
Here's
Eight,
Luis Guillorme making his
one
first
out,
start
one
of the
on.
year playing second base tonight. Vogelback at first, and this doesn't happen often in Major League Baseball. Now the pitchers don't bat and run the bases anymore. Having a first baseman playing behind the runner.
Yeah, you do not see that.
Really, this is way too low to Guillorme. So we made mention of this during our open tonight, and I said we would provide greater.
What up,
details.
Ghost? Long time no see, buddy.
We are not in the regular visitors television booth tonight.
I know. I came here and went to the booth, and people grabbed me, almost tackled me, and pushed me into this booth.
So when we came here last September, we were told the tale of the Ring Central Coliseum possum, who apparently makes a home. There's ball 4 at Guillorme's on.
All right, first and second, one out.
In the visitors' TV booth, and in fact, that's the booth that we normally are in. The poor camera guys left there. So the Angels played here at the beginning of the season. They were the first team in, and Wayne Randazzo, our friend, is now the television voice of the Angels, and he told us that in the opening game of the season, the possum, who apparently lives somewhere in the wall behind that visitors' TV booth, made an appearance during the game in their booth.
That's funny.
Was it like nibbling at them, or
It was just, crawling around,
like a cat?
minding its own possum business, walking across the counter. I mean, he wasn't, trying to hoard in on the broadcast. He was just doing his possum things. Anyway, so they set traps for this possum, but he's proved elusive. And now the A's had been on the road. They were on the East Coast. They came from Baltimore. They played yesterday. So nobody's been in that booth for a few days. And that's a way to need it.
All right, so
2 walks and
a couple of good at-bats here. Make Caprillion work.
Tech people walked into the booth because it takes a lot to set up a booth for a broadcast, especially a road broadcast, because our equipment isn't in there and they have to put everything together, the audio and the video, and so they walk in the booth
Guys,
and immediately
You got to understand, they're not going to DFA Escobar. Escobar's going to be on the bench if Beatty comes up.
Awesome having
They're not going to get rid of him that
done his
quickly.
business in the booth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So apparently the booth reeked so badly of Possum leaving
Yes.
that an executive decision was made.
Ball three.
To this
All right, Nito got a 3-0 count. Here's where you need Nito to be patient. Try to get the bases loaded, then turn over the order to the top of the order.
There's a pole right here. Yeah,
See, no pole there.
no pole
Put
there.
a possum there.
You can see it there.
So you have to choose between possum and pole.
And I chose pole.
Okay.
Ball four. All right.
The bases are loaded.
Bases loaded, 1 out for Nimmo.
Now, you know, there's-
I agree, Jay. I think he'd be a great bench player. He's at that point right now that he should be.
But you know, I can bother with like the best. You know, when I do college basketball, a lot of times we're on the floor and the coach is right in front of us, so you have to kind of watch the weed.
Yeah, okay.
So that's it. I'm familiar with the scenario.
Yes, that's because the city don't take care of him. That's why. And the city's a dump.
One out for demo. And
I mean, it says I don't have to tell you that. You know, like
Now,
Oakland's, you know, one of the cities that used to be great and amazing. Now it's like they're not putting no money into that city apparently. All right, bases loaded, 1 out, Nimmo up. We need some runs here.
Making a last minute move. So, you know, here's our position in the booth. We have our RoboCam, and normally the SNY logo would be fully in the shot. But, you know, you can only do so much.
You know what network we're on. I mean,
And that would stop my leg of beers on a potential wild pitch, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, he's good at college basketball too.
And been throwing strikes in the first inning has completely lost.
You know, it's funny. They got a great fan base too, which is messed up. That the city don't care about them.
Came out to talk to his right-hander.
He averaged 4 walks per 9 innings last year, so this is not completely.
Come on, Brandon.
Immo popped up his first time up.
Ball 3.
Takes it low, and it's 3-1.
There we go.
So 3 walks down, and now a 3-1 count to Nimmo. So that's an expression you're going to see a lot of this year.
Scott's been the pitching coach here since the middle of the year, 2017.
Vogelbach, Orme, and Nito, the base runners with 1 out. And Nimmo takes a strike.
Nimmo takes a 3-1 fastball. Interesting.
3-2.
Second fastball, 3-1 count taken by Mets hitters. Vogelbach to start the inning with a walk, and Nimmo here.
Arteante. It's left to in scoring position in the first inning. Nimmo trying to cash these. 3-2.
Ball 4. All right. Mets get a run on 4 walks.
Behind, it's 1-0 New York. That is the 13th walk that Nimmo has run this year. Second most in the
Oh, that's a way to score a run when he can't hit.
And now the pitching coach. Scott Emerson will pay a visit.
Marte coming up. 1-0 Mets, top of the second. Bases loaded for the Mets. Nice time to get a nice blowout lead here.
Fraternity of starters can get on a roll, get on a streak where you're all backing each other, and every night there's 6 good innings. Well, they're the flip side.
You know, the problem with the Mets aren't getting guys on. That's the easy part.
A real good start, yeah.
You know, if the bottom of the order learns how to take some walks here to turn over the lineup to the top of the order, can make a huge difference for the lineup.
Maybe the A's need to just back away.
Turn around. That was Mark Kotze.
Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. 1-0 Mets, top of the second, bases loaded, Marte up.
Second and Nimmo at first, still only 1 out. Marte didn't field it his first time, and Brilliant goes blown away with that sinker, ball 1. And I'm wondering also, you know, Brilliant threw very few sinkers last year, and has really emphasized that pitch this year.
Oh, solid.
How much command he has of it in this kind of spot. And Marte swings and fouls it back to
That was pitch he
You know,
missed.
I really enjoy listening to Dallas Braden, who does the games here in Oakland. He was telling me today, it's almost the same time every start. Their starters have not been able to get ahead. They're throwing too many pitches.
I say the A's too.
By the fourth or fifth inning.
Oh, sorry.
Certainly the case with Caprillions last
Good eye.
time. That's a curveball.
A lot of pitches for Caprillion. 44. With 1 out in the second.
Just not getting any push off his back leg. Kind of standing up straight, flipping it in there. Ball's doesn't have any finish.
Ball 3.
Marte, and now it's 3-1.
All right.
He walked 4 in the inning, in danger of making it 5.
Andre, amazing what they're
Last
doing
2 times he's
in AAA.
fallen
Amazing.
3-1. He threw a fastball down the middle that Vogelback took, and a little less centered fastball that Nimmo took for a strike. Let's see if Marte is ready to swing. Yeah, Starling
And he swings that off.
3-2.
Well placed.
Mid to level high fastball on the outside corner. Full count.
Brilliant was really set back by injuries while he was in the Yankee system. Tommy John.
I agree, Andre. I know. Jake, what's up?
Last year, well, 3-2 coming to Marte.
Ball 4.
5 walks in the
Another
inning.
walk.
In the score.
Another run for the Mets. 2-0 Mets. Mets got 2 runs on no hits, but 5 walks in the inning. Lindor coming up, bases loaded. Hogan Harris, left-handed pitcher, warming up in the bullpen.
Starters of a 9.93 ERA on merit. Hogan Harris, who was just called up today and has not yet thrown a pitch in the big leagues, is up in the bullpen. Here's Lindor with the bases still loaded, still only 1 out.
Oh, that's gone.
Center field. Back goes Ruiz.
Grand slam, baby. Yeah. Grand slam, Francisco Lindor. 6-0 Mets, baby. There we go. Now that's how you put the nail in the coffin early on. Woo. Grand slam. 6-0 Mets, baby. There we go. That's what you want to do. Confidence crushed for this young A's team.
6th career grand slam for Francisco Lindor.
Love to see Francisco Lindor getting hot left-handed. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Lindor has been struggling very badly left-handed. Maybe this will get him going left-handed. Alonso up, 6-0 Mets in the second.
If you need a microcosm of what has happened with the A's and their starting pitching this year,
Woo-hoo. That's what I'm talking about. Dead center. Grand slam for Lindor.
And for Lindor, it's a big weight off his shoulders because he's really been struggling batting left-handed. Came into the day at 190 from that side with no home runs.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, you want to get these guys' confidence up during this series. So when you face the Dodgers and Giants, you're red hot. You want to get this lineup rolling runs-wise. So there isn't going into the Dodgers series not feeling great. This can be a confidence booster for this team. And Alonso strikes out on a slider. 2 outs. It's a good start. Look, we talked about this before the game. The Mets got to get on the board early. Don't give the team any confidence in this game. You want to demoralize this team. Sucks to say, but it's a business. Got to win ball games.
Takes the first pitch slider for a strike. 9.93 is just, their overall staff ERA is 7.65, which means that their bullpen has been better. Not great, but better. But so
Eric, it's going to happen very soon.
For them early on. That's the brilliant ERA right at this particular moment.
The opposition is tired by the time the bullpen comes in.
From a Mets perspective, you come in to play this kind of team, much as was the case last September, and you can't take anything for granted. This is a baseball team.
That's right, Jay. Grand slam the like button. Let's go.
The course of the season. But you have to try and take full advantage of what's presented to you.
I agree, Stephen. 2 out of 3 would be disappointed. This team is not good at all.
Opportunities for young players here.
You know, you worry, yes, the A's are a bad team, but there's a lot of young players that want to stay in the show. McNeil pops it up on the infield, should end the inning, and it does. But not before the Mets put 6 on the board. 2 with a walk and 4 with a Francisco Lindor grand slam. Bottom of the second, 6-0 Mets. And it's not even about the fact that the Mets have to sweep the A's. It's not that because they're a bad team. That's not the only reason. The reason is, you got to worry sometimes with young teams because these young kids want to stay in the show, right? They don't want to get sent down for another young player that might take their position and do better, right? These are kids that want to prove that they can be in the big leagues. That's what you always worry about teams that you keep around during games. Like, that's why I said you got to get to them early so they don't have that confidence saying, hey, we're sticking with the Mets. Maybe we can win. Brings a little confidence to them, and who knows, right? The A's actually won a couple of games this year. They didn't lose. They're not 0-14, so they've won games, and I can guarantee you in those games, they stuck around in those games runs-wise and kept it close, and that's how they probably won a couple of their games because they actually got a little bit of confidence saying, hey, we're sticking with this team. Let's get it done. You demoralize a team like this. You beat them up early. They're probably not going to try as hard the rest of the game because they're like, shit, we're getting our ass kicked. Why even bother? So, and that's why you got to, look, 2 out of 3 is not the end of the world. You win another series. You always want to take series. But especially on a 10-game West Coast trip, when the next 7 games will be tough on this trip, getting the sweep against the A's gives you for a little bit of I would say a rocky if you get a rocky start to start the Dodger series, you have a little bit of a leadway there, so you can still go 6-4. And if you find a way to beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3, well, you already got 5 wins under your belt, and you still got 4 games to go against the Giants. Just winning one of those games against the Giants, you're already going to be at the worst 6-4. Kodai Senga, 6-run lead, bottom of the second.
Laureano leading off the home second. Senga retired the side of order in the first. Laureano with his 6th
Yeah, Andre,
A's.
I think that's just a ploy by the city because I think the owners of the A's, they want to get the hell out of there.
Each and every year.
Well, he had a PED suspension in 21 that carried over to 22, and then he got hurt late in the season last year. Didn't play in the series against the Mets last September. He was only in 94 games last year.
You sweep the A's. You only got to take 3 out of the next 7 games to go 6-4, and that's mediocre in the next 7 games. But it gives you a winning road trip on the West Coast. So Senga comes out after getting a 6-0 lead and walks the first batter.
Even the one pitch where Nito lifted the plate up and he threw it underneath the plate.
That's really a ghost.
Robert, maybe. If it's in LA, I don't think he cares that much.
He's like the Mets have been vastly successful, and they're still the bases have 10 of 11. Laureano's got 2 of them.
Senga was sitting for a while, so got those strikes here.
Not gotten such big leads, one-way lead, to make sure the pitcher disengages at least once early.
Oh, you know what? That's right, PA. That's right. He is pitching. So yeah, we're not going to see him in that series. Oh, we might. We might see him in the last game of the series.
A lot of the Braves, they call strike 1-1. Very useful player with his 6 different major league teams.
Yeah, Jake. 100% right.
Football player.
Any player, yeah.
DB at McNeese State. What Joel was talking about today said he was.
It is, Michael, but you know what? How many years that the Wilpons didn't even try, and the Mets had no chance in the season, even though we tried to make it like there was hope, but there wasn't. So, it is what it is.
give up on that.
It sucks, but I don't have no sympathy for owners that don't care about their teams.
Obviously understand there's so
Grant, I'll take it every day of the week, buddy.
Remember last year coming here, and the teams were still allowed to shift, and you have a third baseman play over your second base, and you think you could possibly run that far for a pop-up. Now, that's more halfway.
Strike three, two strikes, 2 outs. I mean, excuse me, two strikeouts. I'm sorry, 1 out.
This one, like the first strikeout, nose dive late. Ball started about waist high and ended up out of the strike zone down.
Honestly, a smile doesn't come up that good. It's like we got a thing here that nobody can deal with. It would be a nice feeling. Here's Aledmys Diaz. He has a ring after like 92 games for the Astros last year. Really had a
Wow,
rough
that was a late
season.
strike call. Jesus.
That's some serious
I think the umpire was kind of bored.
So much that the Astros DH at times last year. When he first came up with the Cardinals, I think great first half, made the All-Star team as a rookie. 2016.
You know,
Missed the high fastball.
strike three, 2 out. 2 outs, third strikeout for Senga.
Third strikeout. It's not coming on something other than.
Well, you get so protective against that forkball that he blew the fastball.
Yeah, Andre, I know. I mean, there was some thought that the Islanders might actually move to Kansas City. Yes, there's. Oh, you might be pitching by the end of the night. Yeah, what is it, like $8-9 million? It's sad.
13 games, including some of those against the Mets. He had 371.
Them goddamn drums.
Who kind of his dad was?
I do. University of Texas. Played a little bit in the major leagues, right?
Mike Cable, he was a teammate of Roger Clemens on that 1983 College World Series championship team.
Calvin Giraldi on that club as well.
Flare out to right, come on, as Marte.
Oh, he missed it.
That's behind him. Oriano to third, he'll stop there.
All right, so first and third, 2 outs.
First with a loop single. His effort by Marte couldn't quite make the sliding grab. And there's the first hit before the eighth.
Well, Jerry mentioned that he had a nice series in September against the Mets, and he starts off where he left off there. Gets that a little off the end of the bat. That's why it died at the end. And Marte just couldn't get there. And I think you're right, Gary. He's a little more tentative in the outfield. That's why I think he didn't get to that one.
So first and third and 2 out here.
A little bit of trouble for Senga with 2 outs. Langoliers up.
He takes the first pitch slider for a strike. Langoliers in 2019 was the second catcher.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to go crazy. I don't want Marte to overexert himself to make a dive and catch and then hurt himself. Like, I know it's, it would have been the third out, but, you are playing the A's here, and, you expect your offense to score more runs, and I'm not going to make him kill himself. If the Mets get a bigger lead here, I have no problem taking out Marte and putting somebody else in the outfield, put Castro in the outfield, save his legs.
Is off the plate as much as anyone in the game. That outside corner looks like easy pickings.
I struck him out. And Senga gets out of that little jam, and the Mets still lead 6-0. Going to the top of the third for the Mets. Here we go, a little bit of Senga emojis. If you're a member of the channel, you get to use all the emojis that I have, the custom emojis, the Scherzer. I have a Verlander one ready to go when he starts pitching. Got the Senga Ghost one that you guys can see if you're a member. LFGMs, a couple of colored ones there. And once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. You know how it goes. The more likes we get on this stream, the more it gets at the top of the recommendations list for people who want to see this type of content. So let's get more Mets fans here. Let's get more baseball fans here. And again, not surprising that it's over 100 viewers right now, because it's, for some reason, the West Coast Chips brings out everybody. when it comes to games like this. Since the Mets have a decent lead right now and might get bigger at some point, wouldn't be shocked if it lowers a little bit, but it's always fun to have these West Coast games. No, and see, that's the thing that a lot of people talk about. Like, people like, oh, how do these players even play in front of 2,000 fans? Or they're in the show. And let's be honest, guys, if you're not even a prospect, if you're just a minor league player who says, well, the A's like, well, we need some players, let's bring these kids up. These guys are making tremendous amount of money compared to what they are in the minors. Remember, it's $750,000 for to be in baseball now, as as the average salary, just a base salary of $750,000. So these guys are making that type of salary, every game, whatever the salary is for that game, that's what they're making. It's tremendous amount more money. So yeah, of course you want to be up. And you go to different stadiums and all that stuff. So you get good ride. There you go, Jake. Let's get me to 5,000 subscribers. Trying to do it before June. Here we go. Vogelback is up. 6 on Mets, top of the third.
Third inning, Daniel Vogelback led off the second with a walk. 5 that James really had walked in that inning. And Francisco Lindor a grand slam that scored 6 runs on 1 hit. Still talking about it.
After 5K, Jake, it's to the moon, baby. It's to the moon.
Slam for Lindor, he hit 439 feet. And Vogelback takes a strike on the inside. It's 2. When you have a pitching staff like this running, where your starters are getting beat up every day, just strike 3 calls.
And Vogelback strikes out.
Second strikeout. Brilliant. How do you avoid running out of trouble?
But you do it with roster manipulation. You just keep bringing guys in. One guy throws an inning with 30, he's down.
Yeah, and you know what, Jay? Even the 80s in Yankee Stadium, there was nowhere. It was a ghost town, if you have 10, 7 to 10 bad years in a row and not making the playoffs, fans ain't showing up at some point.
Yeah, you can come back and maybe come back in this game, but as a ball club, it wears on you that your offense has to be so potent to make up for mistakes that are made early in the game.
Yeah, Jake, I started from scratch too. I don't manipulate my channel. I don't buy subscribers. I work hard to get the subscribers. So, and I appreciate the grind.
Pitches in before you go to the bullpen and just give up on the game.
There you go, Stezo.
You pull them and risk.
And Escobar pops it up. Should be the second out. And so far, Vogelback is got his walk and struck out. So 2 guys that are on watch right now, Vogelback and Escobar. They didn't do anything so far.
He's not going to figure it out in the video.
2 outs, Guillorme up.
Against big league hitters, showing some moxie after giving up a 6th spot, and saying to yourself, there's a responsibility as a starting pitcher that I've got to get 15 outs somehow, some way, 18 outs if I'm great after this moment, to try to help my team out. Maybe not for today, but for the rest of the series.
And then the next question is, if you're the A's, they've got a really talented young right-hander at AAA named Mason Mills, 101 miles an hour. He's getting everybody out. Now,
well, I don't even know what happened to Valhalla. I know he's pretty big and he got good content. I don't know. He got his channel deleted? I didn't know that. I agree, Andre. Get rid of that stupid platoon DH. It makes no sense.
2-2 call strike. Sorry about that. I look at it this way. I remember the Braves when they brought up Tommy Glavine and John Smoltz, and they went through 7 and 17 years. Bring them up. Let them learn up here.
Guillorme 3-2. He's drew one of the 5 walks that really gave up in the second. He's trying for a 1-2-3 inning. He's got a 3-2 count on Guillorme.
See what Guillorme can do with 2 outs. And he takes a walk.
He's on base for the second time. That's 6 walks.
At the very least, the Mets will turn over the lineup when they come back up in the fourth if they don't get the job done.
55-degree night.
Right, correct. And John Marsko said my ear here in the dugout. My first thought was,
I think so, Andre. But Vientos has been playing well, but he has been hitting like Mauricio and Beatty though.
Some of this data, it just shows you how the world
Oh, jeez.
and the sport has changed. I do not know. I mean, there may be some, but I don't know a single Major League Baseball coach who wants steroids.
yeah.
Do you?
A few years ago. But,
Oh, copyrights from what though? That's interesting. That's odd. Like from audio,
No.
because like the audio is usually not an issue unless you like leave the commercials on during the audio, which I don't think he does. So interesting. That sucks.
Take so much better care of themselves. You know, swing to the fastball as well. So,
I mean, after a game, particularly if you won the game, guys.
Let's go, guys. Hit on that like button. Hit on that like button. 35 likes. 100 in the chat. Let's go. Let's go.
Run, that kind of stuff. Not as much. But they still think they talk about the game, but certainly not over whatever their beverage choices.
you know, if Vito had aimed that foul ball a little better, he would have taken care of the Oscar. That's right. Came right up to this level. 1-2 coming. And checks the swing.
And Nito checks him out on a late call from the umpire. Mets lead 6-0 going to the bottom of the third. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. We had a consistent over 100 viewers right now. Let's get that like ups. Right now we're at 35. Let's get it up to like 60, 70. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Take a moment out of your time to hit on that like button so we can get it. More people, more Mets fans, more baseball fans during our first game of the 10-game West Coast trip. And again, not surprising that there's over 100 people in the stream because the West Coast trip draws people. That's how many likes there are? Well, maybe I didn't refresh. I apologize. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Oh yeah, 61 likes. That's not bad. I can't complain about that. But let's see. Over 100, I at least try to get 80 likes. So by the time people replay it, you'll get over 100 likes throughout the time. So again, consistent 100, baby. Let's go. Hey, Eric, listen. It's not even about playing good. You need to beat this team. Grind out at bats, grind out runs. I don't care how you win. I think too many people want the Mets to win in a certain way. I think we fall in love on the way a team wins. And that's fan bases all across sports. Like, look at the Mets are winning 2-1 bowl games. The Mets ain't scoring. They got to grind out wins. Okay. Like I said, I think we worry about how you win than did we get a win. I think that's the problem with a lot of fans across the country in any sport. We have bad defense, or we're not playing too well. We're not scoring runs here. We're not scoring runs there. The Mets have won 3 out of 4 series, and if you listen to Mets fans before the Padres series, you would think the season's over. Bottom of the third, 6-0 Mets. Kodai on the mound.
Ruiz takes the first pitch, breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. You mentioned that Langoliers came over when Scott when Olsen went to the Braves. There's a nice bunt by Ruiz who has great speed. Senga fires, stretched by Alonso, who came off the bag.
And a nice bunt by Ruiz and gets an infield single to start the inning.
Alonso did well to keep it from going down the line, but couldn't stay.
Senga almost got him, though. That was a nice play by Senga trying to get the speedy Ruiz.
I mean, good fielding pitcher. Senga gets off, does everything right, barehanded. And if he just made the throw on time, he would have got him at first base.
Almost a great play by Senga. Just a little off the mark.
Make that throw, hoping for the little ball to come back to the first baseman. That would stay true. Almost cut it. That's what took Pete off the bat.
Ruiz used his best tool, his speed, to get aboard. He's got 2 stolen bases. Tony Kemp, the batter, swung at the first pitch. He
Well,
saw from second.
The Yankees are finally playing actually good teams. good offensive teams because they really don't play anybody.
Came from Atlanta when Olsen got traded there. That's line
Caught. Oh, that's a double play.
Ruiz took off
2 outs. What a catch by Escobar. Ruiz was running, and an easy second out at first base for the 5-5-3 double play. Nice. Hit hard, but Escobar made a nice play on that hard line drive. That was not easy, and he was in too. Oof. I do have to say, guys, I know Escobar's not hitting, but he's played elite third base this year. You know, he could easily be playing a bad third base, letting offense get to his head, but he's playing good defense. Again, don't think the Mets don't take that seriously because the Mets have been one of the best defensive teams in the league this year. And don't think that's not a big deal. It is.
A's have a big hand in beefing up the Mets division rival. Two of their key players coming as a result of trades with the A's.
So when you're thinking at home, well, why wouldn't he run? That's his strength. He's going to steal the base. No one's going to be able to throw him out.
Oh, Jakey Wood. Wow. Jeez. Nice pitch.
No chance of that cutter. It's 2-2. Well, my question would be, if he's going to run, wouldn't it be Kemp to take the pitch for him to run?
That would be better. Yes.
What do you have there? Exactly.
It's an A's. It's an A. Maybe a Cape on.
Cape did it.
Not a CAPON. Cape.
No, and that's why Escobar is going to be on this team, even in a bench role, if Beatty comes up, because he's a guy that you could put late in the game. Oh no, Jake, that's cool, man. No problem. Like I didn't even know about that, but like I said, hey, I like his content. Like I go on his channel, you know, check him out every now. You know, he does a lot of West Coast games because he's, I think he's a Dodger fan. So, but he has good content. Well, hopefully he's doing well because he got some good stuff.
Good man. At hands of stone.
Brent Rooker has struck out his first time up. He takes the fastball below the knees for ball one.
Catchers of a certain age have a handshake that's can't describe.
Well, because up until Johnny Bench revolutionized the position, catchers fought with two hands. And that meant that their bare hands always in the way of foul tips. So almost every old catcher has fingers that are Z's. So when they shake your hand, it's sometimes hard to let go. It's like those
Senga is a little bit wild with his pitches. I want Senga to get through 6 innings in this game. He already got 47 pitches, a little higher than I'd like.
Extract yourself from a catcher.
3-0 Rooker after the walk to Noda.
Joe, I live 10 minutes from that casino. It's okay. It's not like Atlantic City or anything like that. There ain't nothing around it. And the food kind of sucks there. Andre, you see, but the problem with that is like, you know, LaCastro don't have options to the minors. He has the opportunity of saying, no, I'm not going to the minors and ask for his release. You know, he's a guy who's valuable for this team. That's the thing you got to look at, too. You got to look at the overall team, too. You know, it's not just about the starters. This is going to drop. A's get a run on a bloop fly ball that falls in the middle of nowhere.
Iorbe made the effort, came up short, and as the ball bounced away, the A's third base coach
6-1 Mets. Nice hustle by Guillorme, but that ball was in no man's land.
Guillorme with a dive, just a half dive. He thought he had it there, but just out of his reach. See the runner on the 3-2 count. He's running.
Good hustle by Noda around the bases.
Says something about a running card there. The third base coach Senga.
And another bloop. That's going to fall in.
Another flare. This one falls to the right for a base hit for Laureano. So they are using
First and third.
small
Well,
hits against Kodai.
not bad pitches by Senga, but making him work, though.
And now runners at first and third with Chase Peterson coming up. And Jeremy Hefner's going to slow
All right, Hefner's going to come out to the mound. Not a bad pitch. Just fought it off.
Laureano. Well placed with Yorme shading towards the middle. No play. Lets it go because Marte is coming in on the ball. Senga as he ties his shoes, getting instructions from Jeremy Hefner being translated.
Right. Baseball works sometimes. There was 4 balls put in play in this inning. 1 hit hard, and that resulted in 2 outs.
The problem you have here is that against the A's, you're going to have an advantage because they're starting pitching struggling right now. But their last 3 games in Baltimore, they put up some offense.
23 runs in the last 3 games.
Gotta be pay careful with Jace Peterson here.
So, with the A's having scored once here in the third, Senga trying to keep
Jake could be fun.
Chase Peterson struck out his first time.
I think he's getting better with understanding.
And Peterson takes a fastball.
Shooter, what's up, buddy? They're up there.
Booker now at third. Laureano.
But Senga's got to calm down a little bit. We can't, his pitch count's getting up there. I need him to get past 5 innings. I have to see that. He's got really good stuff, but
Fastball that he is for a strike, and it's 0-2.
I want 6 innings from him tonight.
So obviously looking for something else. Senga's
Come on, Kodai, let's go.
fastballs, and now he's got him set up for anything. 2 coming.
Strike 3.
Got him looking at that.
Alrighty, so he works him with the fastball. Senga gets out of that little jam, gives up 1 run, couple blue hits that fall in, going to the top of the 4th, 6-1 Mets. Again, Kodai Senga, his stuff is great, gets a decent amount of strikeouts, but you're not going to call him a really good to possibly great pitcher until he goes 6 innings and a little bit more. Give me 6 1/3. Give me 6 innings today. He hasn't gone a full 6 innings yet because his pitch count has been high. So that's something that we really have to see from Senga. Even though the Mets pitching has been really good, other than Carrasco, the Mets pitching has been really good. It's actually in the top 7 or 8 in the league in overall pitching staff. So they've been pretty good this year. Well, yeah, I agree with that. That's actually true. Yeah, that's I don't know. Maybe the A's can beat that record. What was the worst? Wasn't the Mets they lost 120 games, right? That's the record so far. Still, maybe the A's might actually challenge the Mets 120 losses. That would be crazy. Well, for all the people that was pissed off that the Mets did not re-sign Javi Baez, the guy's a joke. All right, the guy swings at everything, doesn't hustle, bitches and moans about everything. He turned Lindor into a freaking cancer that year he was here, made it completely a toxic environment in the bench, and turned Lindor against everybody in that dugout. He was just a bad influence on Lindor. So I'm glad Baez is not back. Everybody who wanted Baez, you see the outcome. He's a guy that needs to be on a team that actually has good players. All right, Nimmo leads off 6-1 Mets, top of the 4th.
Brandon Nimmo with a half swing strike, nothing in 1. Nimmo drew a bases loaded walk, 1 of 2 the Mets received from James early in the
Hey,
second.
Sean, how you doing?
Marte and Lindor to follow.
Yes, but the Astros, that was on purpose to get the number 1 overall draft pick. That's a base hit for Nimmo.
I saw today some stats related what's surprising is that the batting average of balls in play on lefties pulling ground balls is up 31 points last year.
31. Wow.
Marte, he takes a curveball down for ball one. What's interesting to me, though, is that the overall batting average on balls in play has gone up more for right-hand hitters last year than it has for left-handers. So 5 points for lefties, 12 points for righties, which doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. Maybe it's just a small sample size. To another Marte. But it does seem as though all of the new rules are working exactly the way Major League Baseball intended. Games are moving faster, more stolen base attempts, higher percentage of stolen base success rate, slightly higher batting averages,
Quicker games.
game times.
Oh, so
26 minutes faster than we would go.
It's almost like they've flashed back to 1984.
That's basically where we're at. Game times are about the same as they were in '84. Marte said infield didn't walk. Neville at first with nobody out. And Marte takes a strike 3-2. Yeah, I figure this might be Brilliant's last inning. Lindor with a grand slam against him was on deck. There's nobody up in the A's bullpen. They had one action in the second when he was melting down. And then he'll get the hand up. Brandon's already matched last season's stolen base total. He's got 3 this year. He had 3 all of last year. So if he goes here on 3-2 with nobody out,
He'll be running.
I'm going. And Marte takes another
and
walk.
another walk. First and second, nobody out for the Mets.
Brilliant in 3 innings plus.
Yeah, Michael, I understand that, but at the same time, you know what? The Red Sox, the Yankees, all got busted for cheating with their Apple Watches, and just don't think that that's is not as bad. Just because the Yankees and the Astros didn't cheat as well, or didn't do as good a job to cheat as the Astros.
And they're making them take the ghost fork sights down.
Oh, they're taking the ghost forks down, pitchers down.
Guys, it's only fun.
I mean, there's not enough people here to get angry at anyone.
I mean, they let the A's fans have fun. They got the band out there, the guy in the big A costume. So let the Mets fans have fun too. They bought their tickets.
Nobody, no outs, 2 ons for Lindor. Lindor last time up hit a grand slam, making it 6 runs for the.
And this time, Brilliant starts him off with a breaking ball, and Lindor chases him for strike 1.
This is the kind of night where if you get off to a big start, as Noel gets ready, you can have a huge day.
Lindor has to move his feet on that slider. 1-1. Lewis has done a very nice job of blocking pitches. We haven't seen a lot of it's him working with his pitcher, trying to get Brilliant right in.
Oh, that's gone.
Right field. This one should be
Oh,
right.
just missed it. Got under that a little bit. 2 out, 1 out. Nimmo takes the third. Wow, that looks like just got under that ball. Exactly, Paul.
So runners at the corners with 1 out. Alonso coming up. He just singled and struck out 1 for 2. Scored all 6 of their runs.
Well, I think people forget that the Yankees and the Red Sox got caught cheating with their Apple Watches in regards to pitches being figured out. Like they used the camera and it related to their Apple Watches. And Marte steals second.
Marte's fifth stolen base of the year. And he got a huge jump.
So second and third, one out.
How did that happen?
Now the infield will come in. Second and third, one out. The A's already down 5 runs. And what happened?
Umpire was calling time, yelling time because the ball was on the field in left field. That happens here with the bullpen on the field.
But shooter, they did know the pitch though.
Yeah,
But I'm not talking about that. They relayed it from an Apple Watch. They were using cameras from center field as well. Before the cameras were not in use anymore, Major League Baseball doesn't allow that anymore. They were getting a relay to their watch and giving a signal to their runners to tell the batter. Big difference. It's still cheating. Doesn't matter if it's better. Just because the Astros did it better doesn't mean it's still not cheating. It is. They just didn't do it as well. Come on, Pete.
Side it's 2-1. You got McNeil on deck. They got the lefty ball up in the bullpen, so it could well be Brilliant's last batter, 91 pitches.
Couple of big RBIs there for Alonso.
And it's thrown away. It really looks like he wants no part of the line.
No, it's not, but it's still cheating. Again, if the Yankees would have won a World Series and they got caught using the Apple Watch at some point, well, guess what? They would have got reprimanded as well, just as bad as the Astros did, getting people fired.
Well, you got to trust the gloves behind you.
It works both ways, you know. So, bad or not, no matter which one's worse, they still cheated. Nobody cares because they didn't win. That's the difference. All right, full count to Pete.
Well, Brilliant has walked 7. He struck out 3. He's got a 3-2 count on Alonso with runners second and third. And he reaches for 1 and fouls it off. It's 1-4.
Well, shooter, it is because it comes out to the same thing, right? Right? If it's against the rules, it's cheating, no matter if it's right or wrong. Just because the Astros did it better than everybody else doesn't mean that it's not worse. Because if the Yankees would have won the World Series using that Apple Watch, a lot of people would be complaining just as much as they did with the Astros.
Again, the 3-2. And he takes straight 3 ball.
They call that strike 3, 2 outs.
Pitch, and Sonia punches out Alonso, and that's going to be all for Brilliant. He gets the strikeout Alonso, and his night has come to an end after 3 2/3 innings and 95 pitches.
No, shooter, because you don't go to jail for that. One, you get a ticket, the other one, you go to jail. But we're talking about baseball rules. We're not talking about, murder. All right, so they're changing the pitcher in the top of the 4th. 6-1 Mets, second and third, 2 out for Jeff McNeil. Well, the umpire wants to get the hell out of there. That's the way it seems right now. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to this late night Mets baseball on the West Coast. I know a lot of people are not. Most of you guys are on the East Coast, but a lot of you are on the West Coast, or at least the middle of the country. So you get a few hours earlier than us. But us on the East Coast, it's always fun spending nights at with the fans, and it always feels like, as I said earlier, that everybody else is asleep while your team and your fan base is watching the game. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly, Michael. I just said the same thing, and I do have to go to work in about 2 hours, so that's always fun. Yeah, but as long as we win ball games. No game. In these type of games, I want to see the bottom of the order, have better at bats as well, Well, see, that's the other thing, Jake. Like, if you get, an 8, 9, 10-run lead, you can sit Lindor for the rest of the game or Alonso. Get the other guys in there. Get the other guys off there. Get Marte out of the game. Stuff like that. It saves these guys innings for later on in the year. So just waiting for the pitch and change. And again, it's only the 4th inning, top of the 4th. And it's 11 o'clock, so it's already an hour and 20 minutes into the game. Again, it's on average though, because the next 2 innings can go pretty quick. So hopefully everybody is enjoying their late night Mets game, and I know a couple other teams are on the West Coast as well playing. I think the Cubbies are again playing the Dodgers right now. They're showing the Bay and the ugly Coliseum, and McNeil's up with 2 on with 2 outs. See if he gets it done.
Jeff McNeil with 2 in scoring position, and Jeff fouls off the first slider, 0-1.
Ball has a little bit of a sidearm action. He had a good year for the A's last year. All his big league time has come in an A's uniform.
Jeff has been up twice, popped up both times. And he swings a this to the sinker, and it's 0-2. The A's played yesterday in Baltimore, and with their starting pitching struggling so mightily, bullpen's a little beat up. He's had a little rest. He's had the last 2 days off. McNeil watches outside 1-2. Brilliant through 95 pitches over 3 2/3, 4 hits, 7 walks, 4 strikeouts, a home run. Responsible for 6 plus the 2 on base. Jerry Cordelia cooling his heels to the A's bullpen. Lex Mets in that pen, Cordelia and Trevor Bay. And McNeil.
Ground ball by McNeil, foul ball. Well, I think Alonso is on pace. What he has, 5 home runs in 13 games at the moment, 14 games. He might hit one still. 6 home runs, 6. So, he's on pace for about 55. Yeah, they do have Familia.
53 games. Pitched to a 2.91 ERA. Nebo at third, Marte at second with 2 out. And McNeil watches the slider away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's Trevor May. Coming off an Oakland, off the way to his broadcasting career. Two coming, and McNeil pulls one to the first
Right to the first baseman, and that ends the inning. The Mets do not score. Going to the bottom of the 4th, 6-1 Mets. And thank you guys for tuning in to our West Coast. I'm calling this California love. This is what I'm calling the theme of the West Coast trip, because it kind of feels like a little bit of a, like a East Coast, stay up late, who cares about work? Mets are on late at night, and it's always fun. The West Coast trips actually brings Met fans together, right? I mean, Twitter's going, right? If you follow Mets Twitter, they have a Mets Twitter After Dark hashtag going right now, and I think it's actually trending, which is hilarious to me. Let me see if it's trending right now. Let's see. Yes, it is. It's trending. There's somebody, I believe her name is some girl that's on Mets Twitter. Steve Cohen, I don't know, people might follow her. Steve Cohen is king. That's her Twitter handle. Is I am home. I am having my wine. I feel good. Let's get this Mets After Dark party started. So people are falling in love with that, which is pretty cool. Alrighty. Yep. There we go. Showing the Grand Slam. Yep. All Mets Twitter. Alrighty, guys. Going to the bottom of the 4th, 6-1 Mets.
What looks like the first 2 pictures. Oh, this.
Don't forget to please hit on that like button.
35 years old. I just saw him last night. We had a beautiful dinner here on Jack London Square. Wow.
He is now the age that you were in that picture.
That might have been my last year.
Yeah, I know. It was funny when I was in Colorado.
That was right after your
right before the Mets traveled to Colorado.
You came here in
The Mets were playing on the East Coast, and it was perfect because I got like a 5 o'clock game for a 7 o'clock start. It was perfect.
Well,
If the game's over, you can go out for dinner.
at the very end in New York,
Yeah, that's like the end of the road when you're on the A's.
I didn't really belong on the team, so it was good that I got traded.
Look at that.
Round ball. Woof.
Lindor gets ground as to make the
Nice throw by Lindor to get the out, 1 out. And as I said earlier, guys, I want Senga to see if he can go through 6 innings today. I think that's the next goal for him to keep on going pretty damn well for Senga.
And they played a lot of day games, and after the day games, I got invited to a guy's house for barbecue. Terry Senga, our catcher. I went over there. Every family was there. Every wife, every kid. And while the barbecue was getting ready, we were playing
Exactly, Paul.
football.
I know. I think a lot of people seen that South Park. Change.
I mean, there were some really good young
Oh
kids that
God,
could really play. And it was just, I don't know, it was just the perfect time to have
that was a great episode, by the way.
run team.
So you say it was.
All right, guys, enjoy the audio. I'll be right back.
Played on in New York.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. This field was in pristine shape, much older was telling us today. That maybe the surrounding stuff is not great, but the field conditions are still one of the best fields in baseball, which I think is pretty cool.
Gable lines one the other way, and he's got his second hit. So picking right up where he left off against the Mets in September. Gable was 2 for 2.
And my first start was against the Seattle Mariners, and I think Carol Reynolds led off. But anyways, after I got out of the first, I think it was 1, 2, 3, I went to walk to the dugout here in the Coliseum, but it was so far, and I just started jogging, and then for the rest of my career here, I always jogged in and out because it was just too far. The fan base was just so energized and so great.
Deep fly ball to the left by Langoliers, back to the wall, and it's out of here. Shea Langoliers with his 3rd home run of the year, and all of a sudden Oakland's back in this game. It's now 6-3.
And of course, the A's are right back in this ball game with a 6-3 Mets lead.
Only the 2nd home run Kodai Senga's line in the major leagues.
Like the first pitch, breaking
Hang and breaking ball.
that stayed up. But boy, Langoliers didn't miss it. Sometimes hard to hit the ball out here at night. It doesn't travel that well. No doubt.
Well, Mets got to score some more runs now.
6-0 now.
Wasn't a comfortable lead, now it's not.
Stay where he takes a strike. He had 1 single his first time up, so this time Escobar is way in on the grass in 3rd.
Well, Gary Cohen brought up a good point that the A's in the Orioles series scored a lot of runs. You know, they can score runs. They've been scoring runs, so they're feeling it a little bit.
Great fan base.
Yeah.
But Oakland has a unique fan base.
It was always small-ish, like when I played Mets, sold out 30, 40,000 every night. But here, it wasn't like that. It almost like you knew every fan intimately, and you could walk amongst them. There was no issue with, like maybe fans getting a little too raucous. Just it was like very family.
Now, this is where we want to see Senga, get back into the groove. 64 pitches through 4. We don't need him to only 5 innings against the A's.
Cool area, I mean, you've got fans. The Bay Area, this side is just so unique, anyways.
1-2 coming. And that split stayed high, and it's 2-2. Well,
The Mets scored 6 runs in the 2nd inning. You had opportunities to score more runs. You have to.
2000.
You got to put a game to bed sometimes.
And the 89 World Series. The Giants and the A's. It's hit sharply.
Another nice play by Escobar. 2 outs. Escobar is like a vacuum at third base.
In New York, it's only in the Bay Area, you had people wearing caps with SF on one side and A's on the other side. It's just so friendly.
That's right. I think if you ask the ardent ones, maybe not as friendly, but especially since San Francisco in the last dozen years has had so much success.
Tony Kell thinking about bunt and skips out of the way.
Yeah, that's why if the Mets, get a little bit more runs.
Everybody dancing.
Well, there's music going on throughout the game. It's almost like, a game in the Dominican Winter Leagues.
The sound system here, there's none better in baseball.
Great tunes.
Got somebody doing yarn, and she's making elephant hats. Amazing. What you see in the stadiums.
And now Senga behind 3-1 count.
Yeah, Senga's a little off. Going to be 70th pitch in the fourth.
Senga, a little sloppy this start as opposed to the first two.
Ball four.
To prolong the inning. That's the third walk given up by Senga. Well, the A's started life in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, look, Oakland got a great fan base. The problem is the owners of their teams don't want to stay in Oakland. I mean, they're going to lose all their teams. I mean, even the Golden State Warriors left Oakland to go to San Francisco. I know it's across the bay, but they left the city. There you go, Johnny.
1968. Playing baseball games here since 1968.
I know the lighting in this booth is from 1968.
I love that you asked Janice, the stage manager, about the lights here. She said she tried to see what she can do. I don't know if there's any bulbs from 1968.
I mean, the track lighting up there is got to be. It must be original with the ballpark.
I mean, who has track lighting anymore?
You don't have those bulbs. I think they might be gas light candles. Or to Ryan Noda, who walked and scored his last time up. Cap at first, he takes off, swung and missed. Strike three. Noda down to first base, and they'll make it safely.
And Nito doesn't catch the ball. These are mistakes you can't make against a bad team.
Senga and the Mets. He strikes out Noda, but Nito fails to catch it. Gets a pass ball to prolong the inning.
Was Vito trying to catch this and throw? He was. So trying to catch and throw before he received the ball, kind of a mistake by Tomas.
He got to strike three, too. Right. So now the tying run comes to bat with Brent Rooker, who's hit 3 home runs in his last 2 games. And he fouls back and first pitch fastball, 0-1.
Yeah.
Single to drive and a run in the third. That's for up 6-0. The A's got a run in the third. They got the 2-run homer by Langoliers here in the fourth. Walk and a strikeout pass ball that kept the inning going. And just like that, it's got the tying run at bat. Big out to get for Senga against a hot hitter at Rooker. And Rooker takes a fastball strike.
Oh,
So
this is definitely increasing his Senga's pitch count through 77 pitches with 2 outs and a fourth. Might be a situation where he doesn't go past the fifth again.
Good time for it here.
Camp at second, Noda at first with 2 down. And Rooker fouls one away. Fastball running it on the stands. The last time that Senga was in trouble in the third, he threw 3 straight fastballs to freeze Chase Peterson. Rooker, though, was at least ready enough for that fastball to foul it off. And now he gets the 4th ball.
Ground ball should end the inning, and it does. Senga gets out of some trouble with the tying run at the plate, gives up a 2-run bomb, but Mets leads 6-3 going to the top of the fifth. Yeah, no, Johnny, I get it. He's building, but the problem is you're facing an A's team that is not good, obviously, and you want to see Senga get through 6 innings here. Like I says, he's been good, but you can't have a pitcher go 5 innings as your number 3 starter. You just can't have that. I know technically he's your number 4 starter right now, the way the Mets set up the rotation, but he's really your number 3. You can't have a number 3 starter going 5 innings every game. Great, you can have 8-9 strikeouts in 5 innings, but now you got to use your bullpen for the next 4 innings. Like, you can't have that every start. You got to get him through 6 innings. You have to work getting through 6 innings. That's the most important thing here. Granted, you want to keep his innings as low as possible early on, but you can't have 100 pitches in 5 innings, because where's that going to translate in June or July? That's the issue. When you're facing better teams, you might not get away with throwing a bad pitch and getting a guy out in a jam. Do this against the Dodgers, you're going to be out on your ass, and you're going to be out in the 4th inning. And then you got 6 innings with your bullpen out. And, I don't, it's not like I'm saying, like, all right, let him pitch 6 innings every game. But, I get your first 2 starts. But now in your 3rd start, which is probably be, your 3rd start of the season, I want to see a little bit more from you. I don't want to see 100 pitches in 4 or 5 innings. Doesn't make me confident that he can go beyond that on a consistent basis. And that's the worry part with the Mets and their rotation when it comes to the 2 older guys up front and also Senga, guys that you're trying to lower their innings for later in the year, but you also cannot completely wear your bullpen out in April. Mets are winning 6-3, top of the 5th, Vogelback is up.
So that's when they took that first pitch out of play.
We have it, Michael.
Brian of Lafayette, Louisiana, comes on to face Daniel Vogelback as we go to the 5th.
40.
And David Peterson's the same way. He's another one that throws a ton of pitches and don't get through 5 innings. Some occasionally 6. McGill the same thing. High pitch count.
And he has been a starting pitcher, so this is one of those situations where if Harris has any measure of success, he's going to pitch multiple innings now in the middle of this game for the A's. Vogelback breaks his bat, rolls one out to Kemp in second. And that's the first time. Harris now has an ERA in the big leagues.
If he has any success, Gary, he'll be in the rotation tomorrow.
There you're sitting probables.
Next 2 starters for the Mets is Carrasco tomorrow and Scherzer on Sunday.
Against Fujinami, but they pushed Fujinami back. They've been pitching it basically every 7th day, every Saturday. So we asked Carlos Carrasco tomorrow. Tomorrow's our first regular season picks game.
Oh, nice.
He's pitching 4:07 Eastern. Begins at 3:30. There's Fujinami. Make his 3rd start.
As soon as the game's done here, Janice.
I think he has 75 pitches, 77 pitches through 5 innings. Through 4. So, he probably hit 90 in the 5th inning. So he's probably done after 5, unless he has a really quick inning.
Harris had Tommy John surgery in 2021. So last year was a comeback season for him. Now, age 26, he makes his big league debut.
Didn't pitch in 2020.
Well, President, that's where you got to count on your offense tomorrow.
Development, even though 27 years old, it's gone a little slower.
This is outside. It's 2-2.
Well, Jason, they haven't pitched bad. They just haven't pitched long into games. Occasionally it'd be nice to go 6 innings, 7 innings. That's the problem. It's not the quality of the games that they pitch. Well, that I agree with. Carrasco is garbage. Ramon, yes, I agree. I do. Because of the fact that Joey Lucchesi pitched well in his 3rd start for Syracuse. So he might be coming up very soon if Carrasco don't do well. And Escobar takes a walk. Nice at bat by Escobar. Mets got to score some runs here.
We see a tremendous amount of walks from the opposition so far this year.
Yes. Too many for Met pitchers, too. I have these Bay. But he came prepared. Yorme's already thrown 2 walks today. He takes a slider out this way. So
No, the bottom of the order is pretty good. Has been pretty good tonight. Taking a lot of walks. And that's what you want to do. Try to get that top of the order back up.
One and one to Guillorme. Mosquito on deck. Escobar at first. Cut around the strike zone. It's 2-1. James Caprillion was the starter for the A's. He went 3 2/3, allowed 4 hits and 7 walks, 6 runs. Struck out 4, gave up a home run. Sam Bowl came in to get the final out in the 4th. And now Harris misses away with the fastball, and he's been knocked out Guillorme 3-1.
You know, a sign that your starting pitcher that's a little lost is that you're still in the dugout a couple innings after exiting. Where did it go wrong?
In the batteries, hoping his team would come back and save the hell.
Spit the bit,
Get him off the hook. How many 3-2 counts are we getting this game?
I mean, how many 3-1 fastballs?
Escobar at first with 1. I'll see if he's running. Not. And Guillorme fouls away. A great game for Kodai.
So there's 1 out in the 5th, 6-3 Mets. Man on first. Guillorme up with a full count.
Such a move that he throws across his body that it throws Escobar. Let's see if he goes this time.
Ball 4.
Ball 4.
All right.
Walks for the 3rd time.
2 walks. 3rd walk for Guillorme. Nito coming up.
9 walks issued by Oakland pitching. Imagine watching this for 162 games.
Well, Scott Emerson is going to watch it for 162 games.
I mean, they lost 102 last year, Ronnie. They're going to be hard pressed to lose that few this year.
I mean, look at their manager, Mark Kodai, just kind of trying to find some answers. You know, he can't defend the walk. You know, he knows he's in a position where he's got to grow with his team as a manager. And, of course, his team has to grow, but still.
See if Nito puts up a good at-bat here.
I mean, here's the problem. You bring up a guy from the minor leagues whose career number is 4.8 walks per 9 innings. And you put him in a big league game. We'll be fortunate to be within 46 games of first place at the end of this year. But again, the Mets, it moves them to try and take advantage of that. We still win a game here. The 5th inning up 6-3. Here's Nito with 2 men on. Harris is high.
Well, Ramon, that's the problem with the Mets situation right now. Nobody can go down. You either got to DFA people or take some guys out of your bullpen that have options. That's the only problem. Because everybody on your bench don't have options to go down to the minors. LaCascio don't have an option. Escobar doesn't have an option. They all have to agree to go to the minors. Or you DFA them, which I don't think the Mets are going to DFA Escobar. So Vogelback probably can get DFA, but he don't have an option to go down either. Ball 3. All right. That's what you want to see from the bottom of the order. Get on base for the top of the order. Ball 4. Bases loaded. 1 out. Here comes Nito. Here comes Nemo. Excuse me.
At a stretch where he won 4 straight batters in the second. Mets have now drawn 10 walks in 4 1/3 innings.
10 walks in 4 1/3 innings for the Mets.
Last week, pitchers were close.
There's another opportunity here. There's to break open the game in the middle of the game.
He's already got a walk and a single. He's driven on a run. He scored a run. Infield comes in. It's interesting, right? Basically, 1 out.
I mean, I guess they don't think they can double up Nemo. What about walking 3 and then having to face Brandon Nemo? It's a walk machine.
Force field up.
Oh, and he hits him.
And that's going to force him.
And that's a run by the Mets. Hit by pitch for Nemo. Somebody said the Mets haven't got hit yet. Now they have. 7-3 Mets. Marte coming up.
Getting hit in the back with the bases loaded to drive a run in the 5th to make it 7-3.
I know. Johnny's bringing some excitement and some positivity. Going with the 69, gotta believe. 73, gotta believe. All right, let's get some more runs here. Let's get this game blown out. Want a blowout here.
Base 3 times in a row, and Mayfield hit his 2 walks. Stole a base and scored a run. He's driven that run. Yorme at third, Nito at second, Nemo at first with 1 out.
Ball
He
2.
takes that one down 2-0. What is the over-under line? If Keith were in the booth tonight, of the number of sides that he would have expelled by now.
Ball 3.
This is a 3-0.
At some point, the phrase, "this is not big league pitching," would have come out already.
That would have been the second inning.
Yeah.
Chad Smith up at the bullpen. 3-0 to Marte, and he takes a strike. Nice.
Stinkowski would have come out.
Triple A, I believe the expression Triple A pitching might have
Ball 4. Another run from the Mets on a walk. 8-3 Mets. Lindor coming up.
And 5 batters. Logan Harris has walked 4 and hit 1. And that's 11 walks in the game for Oakland pitching.
Now, this is how guys are brought up from AAA. A call is made between the manager or the front office who did AAA and say, "Is he ready? You want to bring him up?" And someone at some point says yes.
Well, Lindor already has a grand
Ball
slam
1.
in this game.
Another shot for Lindor to hit a second grand slam of the game.
Base is loaded in the 5th as a right-hand batter. Has anybody ever switch hit grand slams in the same game? It's a cold strike and it's 1-1. There haven't been that many guys who've hit 2 grand slams in a game. And offhand, I do not know of a case where they've been hit from both sides.
Oh, he tried it.
Foul out play, and now Harris for a rare time ahead of the count is 1-2.
Well, let's make some history then. Why not?
Saw Robin Ventura become the first player ever to hit grand slams in both ends of the doubleheader. It's against Milwaukee and Shea. 1-2 to Lindor. And
Ball
still
2.
2-2.
Tatis, 2 in the first inning.
Who in
Well,
one game
whoever likes long
against
games,
Champions
you're going to get one.
Right. To do that is the work of the game. It's like 2-2 coming. And Lindor tries out.
That's down the line. That should be 3 runs. Go, 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 go. There we go. Safe. 3 RBIs for Francisco Lindor. 11-3 Mets. 7 RBIs for Francisco Lindor. Here we go. That's the way you break open a game. I'll take it. 7 RBIs for Francisco Lindor tonight. Again, this is the time you want to get hot against a bad team, especially on a big road trip here.
A big hit by Lindor then, and a big hit now.
Lindor didn't try to do too much, and Lindor is so much of a better hitter right-handed. It's amazing how much better he is.
They have a 5-run 5th inning on just 1 hit.
Alonso up. 2-0 to Alonso.
Base hit back in the first. I mean, if you're looking at Harris tonight, tell your parents about it.
This might be a spot after Senga comes out of the game for Negosa to go 2 or 3 innings.
They were hoping to get substantial innings from him tonight. He's thrown 37 pitches already in his first big league inning.
Paul, it's usually very negative for the Mets during this road trip, during a West Coast trip. No, Jake, me neither. I'm fine. Listen, you can score 15 runs in a game and have one home run. I don't care how you score the runs. I think too many people get fascinated by home runs. All right, another walk, and the pitcher is coming out. First and second, 1 out. This is, oof. I mean, we've seen bad teams, but this is. I mean, is this a AAA team? My God. Wow. Well,
I can even go up there. I get to go like this.
yeah, you're even kidding. Jesus. It's crazy, but Mets are up 11-3.
My first at bat in 63 years old.
in the top of the fifth. They got 2 outs. 1 out, excuse me, 1 out. And it's a long game, but it is a game I'll take. Listen, get the wins while you can. You got to beat the bad teams. And that's something that, again, we talked about this during the pregame, guys. It doesn't matter how you win ball games. It doesn't matter how you score your runs. Just get the runs. Like, do you think I give a damn that we got 4 of our runs from walks? No. I think people, at the end of the day, if you hit 6 home runs in a ball game and you win 10-0, or you hit 1 home run and win 10-0, it still counts as just 1 win. Now, if you get double-digit runs and they give you an extra win out of it, all right, then you talk about how you scored those runs. But other than that, who cares? At the end of the day, if the Mets sweep the A's, do you care how they won, or do you care about the W's that you got? Because these are the W's that can win you a division, right? These early games against bad teams could mean all the difference in the world. Like I said, you sweep this A's series. All you have to do is take 3 more games out of 7. You can go 3-4 and get a 6-4 West Coast trip, which a lot would say that's pretty damn good considering who you faced in after this, right? That means you only have to win 1 game against the Dodgers, 2 games against the Giants, or whichever way you win 3 games, and you come back home 6-4. Now, granted, if you take the first 3 of the series of the West Coast trip, hey, you got a pretty good chance of having a really good road trip. So, top of the 5th, 11-3 Mets. First and second, 1 out.
Walks in 4 and a third innings. Jeff McNeil bats against the new pitcher Chad Smith, and he immediately throws a slider out of the
Grant, I'll take a bloodbath, man. We don't have a lot of these. You better take them.
Debut for Harris.
Yeah, but you know what, Jake? The Reds actually have some decent players. Like, the A's are bringing up minor leaguers that are not ready. At least the Rays are a competent
on base.
bad team. They can win ball games. They can beat you as a bad team.
Fields 0 for 3 in this game. Up to the 4th time, though, in the 5th inning.
A lot of people are going to say, oh, well, they scored 11 runs against the A's. But it's not just the runs against a bad team. It gives players that were struggling confidence into their following games against better teams. Would you rather Escobar have 3 strikeouts tonight, or would you have him 2 walks and a base hit? It helps. Yeah, Michael, you ain't kidding.
30th batter.
Be nice if they finish this game by the time I got to go to work. And that's a pass ball. And McNeil got hit by the pitch, so his bases loaded, 1 out. Vogelback coming up. So hopefully this game ends by 12:30, which it might not, because I might have to go to work.
Back foot, hit the back foot.
So the bases are loaded again. And Vogelback, who started the inning with a broken bat ground out. Kodai Senga warming up in the bullpen. Remember, after the long second inning, he struggled.
Kodai Senga is warming up. Oh, that's a ground ball. That might be
Getting to it is Diaz out at second.
only 1 out and a run scores. And Vogelback beats out a double play, gets an RBI. 12-3 Mets. First and third, 2 outs. 6 runs in 2 innings.
I don't know if this has ever happened before.
So Kodai Senga is warming up in the bullpen, on the field, because it's been a long inning. Twice for Senga, so he's just staying warmed up. Very interesting.
Absolutely. You might do it once, but to do it twice in the same game, Senga warming up is novelty enough.
There's Escobar with first and third and 2 out.
This is with Escobar here. These are the at-bats that can get Escobar going a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he will, but it gives him a little bit of confidence, and that's important. That's so true, Joe.
You can do it all.
Slider in for a strike to Escobar.
He said he's ready, and he said any role.
Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. We'll be consistently over 100 viewers in this late night Mets game. Love it. Like to see it. You know, people don't take a lot out of these games. Like, you're going to hear tomorrow, oh, it's the A's, they should win. But take individual at-bats and how they perform, like Escobar. I want to focus on Escobar's at-bats tonight. That's what I'm focused on. And Escobar strikes out. And the Mets get 6 more runs and make it 12-3. But you see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. You know, Escobar, he's still flailing, not having really good at-bats. As I said before the game started, Escobar and Vogelback are on the clock because there's 2 guys in the minors that are completely overmatched in everybody in AAA. Beatty's batting 400, has 5 home runs. Mauricio's batting like 320 with 4 home runs. They just lighten up AAA. At some point, you can't leave those guys in AAA anymore. Now, as I said, Escobar will still have a role on this team. You're going to be like, Rob, what the hell are you talking about? Escobar, as bad as he's been offensively, he's been a vacuum at third base. He is an asset that can be used late in games where you might not trust Beatty completely at third base defensively late in games. So if you're up by a couple of runs, you don't really need Beatty's bat in the lineup. You substitute a defensive replacement for Escobar at third base. He can still provide production in other areas that you might not have otherwise. That's why Escobar will probably go to the bench if Beatty comes up. Vogelback is a question mark. He might be a guy to be the next one DFA'd. And you bring up Mauricio. He's a switch hitter. And you can get rid of that terrible platoon that hasn't worked for 3 years for the New York Mets. Started with Davis and Smith. And then it went to Davis and basically nobody else. It was Cano at one point. And then they tried the Ruff and Vogelback experiment. There's only one left, and that's Vogelback. And at this point, what you need from Vogelback, you're not getting at all, right? I don't care about his walks. If somebody brings up on-base percentage again for Vogelback, just please get off my channel because it's pointless, right? We got him for power. He has 0 home runs in 14 games. Here we go. Bottom of the 5th. 12-3 Mets. Senga on the mound. Probably his last inning with his pitch count at 79.
Minutes. The Mets were putting up their second 6-run inning.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it. Joe, I'm going to type something in the chat.
This is a really good inning. I don't think this is the last inning of Senga.
78 pitches for 4. Jace Peterson and Elizabeth Diaz.
That's what I think of them.
That should stay away from their prime relievers in this game. Unless he's not a big
So, as you've seen over the games where Mets were leading or Mets were losing by a lot, a guy like Steven Nagosek, who can pitch 3 or 4 innings, could finish up the game. Or you can bring Reyes in there to finish up a game, throw a couple of innings. Yeah, but again, Andre, if he's going to be a bench player and Beatty's playing every day, Escobar's not going to get a lot of at-bats. He's going to be a guy that's going to replace Beatty defensively at third base late in games. And I have no problem with that. So he's still useful. Vogelback, he's pointless if he's not a DH with power because he can't play the field either. That's why Escobar still has a role on his team.
Announced today that as of April 1st, the sponsor of the ballpark has pulled out of their deal. I guess things are going badly enough for the A's that the naming sponsor, which was Ring Central, decided to short circuit their deal to name the ballpark a couple of years early.
Another nice play by Escobar. 1 out.
So, this ballpark's got a bunch of different names, different sponsors. And is that what the name was up there? Well, see, it's not there anymore. So now the name has reverted Alameda County Coliseum. That's how it was for years, back when Daryl LaMonica was throwing touchdown passes in this stadium.
Right.
It was the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
The branch.
Kenny Stabler with the forward fumble.
Dave Casper.
Lester Hayes.
Well, Andre Vogelback, obviously, but the other guy will probably be one of the bullpen guys because none of the guys on the Mets, like Castro, Guillorme, who am I missing here? Somebody else. Who am I missing? Pham. These guys don't have minor league options. If you try to send them down, they can X for their release. So it's going to be a bullpen guy, a guy like Reyes, a guy like Nagosek. One of those guys will go down. So you shorten your bullpen to bring those two guys up.
I was trying my best,
Joe, I said 6. 7 and 3 would be great, but I'm going to go 6 and 4. Strike 3. All right. 2 outs. 89 pitches for Senga. I wonder, and Steven Nagosek is warming up in the bullpen as expected. It's a guy that can easily go 3 innings for you. If he has a quick inning or so, might go to the next 4. Save your bullpen. And Senga hits a bomb, and that ball is gone. Diaz with a shot to left field makes it, gives the 4th run of the ball game to the A's, 12-4 Mets. I don't know, but unfortunately, Darren Ruff's not here anymore for you, Joe.
Started his career in St. Louis in the big leagues.
Last year was first now with Oakland.
This is other things Andre, they're not going to release Carrasco. Well, see, that's the situation where the Mets have to think about it too. People are not looking at that, but that's still, Verlander is still about 2 weeks away, so you're not going to have to worry about that yet. Down the road, you'll see what happens with that. But if Carrasco is not doing a job, I think the Mets will release him, DFA. Oh, Correa. Would the Mets take Carrasco out to put Verlander? I think they would. I think they'll keep Peterson and McGill in the rotation. I think that's almost a guarantee. But again, if Peterson or McGill are struggling really badly, then what do you do? So there's a lot of options here. But 2 weeks away for that. Let's worry about what the Mets are going to do with Beatty and Mauricio. And that's why I said Vogelback and Escobar is on the clock here. Thanks, Jake. I appreciate that.
Waterman, Miss Langs, we got a few friends with Rochester. Matt, just let us wallow the lumps by ourselves.
Well, what's a better way than a decent game than against the A's, right? Carrasco gives up a lot of home runs. As you can see, the A's do hit home runs. They don't score a lot, but they hit home runs. Senga is throwing a lot of garbage up there. He should be throwing fastballs. 95 pitches, so this will be his last inning.
Senga's 96th pitch of the night coming up.
And he walks him. And Showalter is taking Senga out of the game. So Senga only 4 2/3 innings. Still can't get to 6 innings. And once again, guys, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Senga. He's faced the Marlins twice and he faced the A's. Good starts. Solid. But if you're going to throw 95 pitches in not even 5 innings, that's not something that you can like from Senga, because if you want to criticize him a little bit, he hasn't got to the 6th inning yet. And, the first 2 started against the Marlins, his pitch count was up there, and he was pitching well, and the game was close. So you want to get your bullpen in there, but a game like this, it would be nice to get him through 6 innings, right? Save your bullpen a little bit. Because if Carrasco doesn't have it tomorrow, your long man, who's Steven Nagosic right now, is probably going to go 3 innings, so he's not going to be available tomorrow. So now you're going to go into the situation where if the Mets are playing a close game with the A's, now you're going to be using the Reyes of the world, the Santanas of the world, who are vulnerable to give up runs. And that's a game you could lose. And that's a situation that I just don't necessarily want. And this is a situation where you need Senga to go 6 innings here. And he didn't. So he only went 4 2/3, guys. This is not, I think his first start he went 5 1/3. Last start he went 5 2/3. You can't continue to throw 5 innings, and people are obsessed with Senga. He's got really good stuff, but each time he got close to 100 pitches and he's not even through 5 innings. That's something you have to worry about with Senga. And again, it's early on, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'm telling you right now, if he pitches the way he pitched, with better hitters that he's facing, like he's going to be going against the Giants. The Giants got better hitters, right? They're clearly a better team than the A's. That's a team that can get you out in 3 innings if they score runs and work the counts. And even with a bad A's lineup, he threw 95 pitches. So, yeah, Andre, I don't even think it's control necessarily. I just think of the fact that he's trying to be too perfect in situations when he should be just throwing strikes. All right, Nagosic is in, bottom of the 5th, 2 outs, 12-4 Mets.
Cool night. 52 degrees right now. Shea Langoliers hit a home run his last time up.
Anytime alone.
Senga gave up. The most difficult start of Senga's brief big league career.
Nagosic has been good this year. Got to keep him healthy.
Langoliers' home run was his 3rd of the year. And hit the knees for a strike, 1-2. 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs so far, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, 2 home runs, 96 pitches for Senga. No decision tonight.
And Senga is not eligible for the win.
And it goes throws a fastball.
And that's a base hit up the middle.
Gabriel pulls in at second. Langoliers has his second of the night. Ronnie Bench out.
I don't know, Cesar, but that's pretty cool. All 5 winter teams made the playoffs. Next, Knicks, Rangers, Islanders, Devils. I don't know, people have been asking me to do the Knicks playoff game and the Rangers playoff game. People don't want me to go to work, huh?
Scoring 6 runs on 1 hit twice. You don't have an answer to that yet. What we do know, though, is that this is not the first time that the A's have given up an inning quite like that. Ruiz takes below the knees ball. In 1959, the Kansas City A's hosted the White Sox, and in the 7th inning gave up 11 runs on 1 hit. So there is some precedent.
I never understand some pitchers. You got a 7-run lead. 8-run lead. And you're not throwing strikes. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Throwing all garbage up there. Throw fastballs. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to go to work before this game is over. This is crazy.
Kansas City A's played in this school stadium 55 to 67. And then moved here to Oakland.
To this ballpark.
Yeah, right here.
That's what I could do in 1968.
56 years ago. 7.
Cable at second, Langoliers at first with 2 out, 3-1 to Ruiz, and he lights one.
And that's a base hit. That's going to score a run. Oh, they didn't. Interesting. They didn't drive him in. They didn't send him home. Okay, bases loaded, 2 outs.
Very conservative base though.
And plus, they're always going to give up the base. Very surprising because Martin Senga, I don't know if you remember before, went 6-0.
Scored the first of the second.
Maybe he got a talking to after that. Become conservative now.
So now bases loaded 2 out for Tony Kemp. The Ghost has given up back-to-back hits. Kemp is over 2 in the ball. First pitch cutter swing, just nothing in one. So I feel like the bases have been loaded a lot this game.
Traffic, lots of traffic.
Like Steve Woodwood, Dave Mason.
There you go.
And the Ghost sick.
Well, you see what Kemp's doing. He's swinging at balls. He has a big uppercut swing. Don't throw anything lower than the letters. Throw another high fastball. He'll swing. There's no reason to throw anything low.
Ghost ahead of him 0-2.
Thank you. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and he gets out of the inning. 12-4 Mets going to the top of the 6th. Well, guys, I'm gonna have to go to work soon. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep the live stream going. So you guys run the stream as we did last year a couple of times, specifically during the Angels series. So I'm going to leave that on, and obviously you'll get the audio throughout the entire game. So I'll see you guys later, and enjoy your stream. Again, guys, you control the stream, so enjoy yourself, talk amongst yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow for pregame, 3:40 tomorrow, pregame, and I'll be doing a live stream during the Mets Oakland game with Carrasco on the mound. So everybody have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the game, and I'll see you tomorrow for Mets pregame. I'll try, guys. Yeah, Tommy, that's it. Like I said, again, I do got work, so again, this is gonna be your controlling of the stream, guys. So enjoy, have fun, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 3:40 pregame, game 2 of the series. Tommy Jr., I think it's the first time I've seen you here. I appreciate that. If you're a new subscriber, have a good day, guys. Yeah, it feels like old school radio. I know somebody brought that up before, so I appreciate it. Don't worry, guys. When the game comes on, you get the game audio as well. So good night, guys. Let's go, Mets.
The 6th, Luis Guillorme has already walked 3 times in this game. Now facing Chad Smith, and he takes Bowman. So they went back and looked as far as 1974. Most walks drawn in the first 5 innings of the game. They've only found 2 with more than Mets have drawn in this game in the first 5 innings. Houston Astros in 2000 against Milwaukee, 14 walks in the first 5 innings. Red Sox in 1992, 13 walks in the first 5 innings of the Mets. Tonight have drawn 12. And just for context, the Major League record for most walks drawn in a 9-inning game, 18. So they've got a shot. Telling me they've got a shot. Two to be right.
I think at the 18, 50-50 if I'm here tomorrow.
I thought you were going to tell me 50-50 you're here at the end of the game.
No, I'll never let you down.
This is one foul. Andrew Crowley had won 7 in 3 2/3, and then Logan Harris in his big league debut won 5 in the 3rd of an inning. Each of them gave up 6 runs in their outing. So far, Chad Smith doesn't want anything. That's line into center field, a base hit, and he remains on base for a 4th straight time. The Mets' 6th hit of the game. Head to the studio. Michelle Margot's game break brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Michelle.
Thanks, Gary. The Rays look to become the first team in the modern era to begin a season 14-0, but George Springer set the tone in the first, and Toronto never looked back. Jays win 6-3.
It's still unbeaten in the U.S.
Yes.
Ends up a leadoff man on to the sixth. There's Nito, who's walked twice, scored 2 runs. And he hits a bouncing ball toward the bag at second. Kemp steps and throws, and that's a double play, 2 men down. 4-3 double play. And Chad Smith is lending a little bit of sanity to the A's pitching.
Might be my favorite pitcher in the game right now. Listen, I have empathy for any pitcher that goes out there and has to start that could really in it. And Harris and Pat, you know what I mean? Nobody in the history of the game has ever gone out and tried to be bad. You know, those things can happen sometimes. They're in a bad place and they're not ready, but it's hard, Gary, to have a ton of empathy for the organization. When you go back to the offseason of 2021, they traded Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, Sean Manaea, Chris Bassett. They lost to free agency, started Marte, Mark Canham, and their manager, Bob Bell. Last July, they traded Frankie Montas and Lou Trevino. And this offseason, Sean Murphy, Cole Irvin, and A.J. Pucker went to one of the teams. That's a lot of talent.
You're asking players who are not necessarily major league ready or major league caliber to get outs at the major league level.
It's not like major league caliber. A lot of those players are all-star players.
They were a really good team for 4 years.
Yeah.
But the A's have shown over the years. Set out to left by Nimmo, hit pretty well. Chasing Cable back, and it's off the top of the wall. Nimmo racing for second, and he's in standing with an opposite field double, and he didn't miss his first home run of the year by much. 2 feet from the top of the fence, and Nimmo is on base for the 4th time tonight.
I mean, you've seen him get tons of hits to left field, left center. But I don't know if you've seen him with that kind of power in a cold night here in Oakland, almost flipped Smith to left field.
Nimmo has found a variety of ways to get on. Walk, single, hit by pitch, and now a double offense to the opposite field. Here's Marte, who's been on base 4 times, an infield single and 3 walks. But his on base percentage is going to be boosted tonight. Most postseason appearances over the last 23 years, the A's are right up there with the elite. And they made it 3 straight years. 18, 19, 20, and they didn't miss by much in 21 before they started stripping it down. The question is, what happens next with this franchise? It's not like they've got a ton of prospects bubbling up. They've got a few. It's going to take a little while to retool. And whether they do that in Oakland or they do it in Las Vegas remains to be seen. It's pulled over the bag. That's a fair ball going down the line. That'll chase Nimmo along. Marte will trade places with them. Back-to-back 2-out doubles. Marte on base for the 5th time tonight. He drives a run to make it 13-4. The Mets trying to do it with hits as well as with walks.
Gets the backhand out. And a BB down the line off the bat of Marte.
Marte is his 3rd run batted in of the season. 2 hits and 3 walks tonight. And now Lindor, who has 7 runs driven in, most ever by a Mets shortstop in the game, and just 2 shy of the club record held by Carlos Delgado. And he takes a good slider for a strike. And 2 players in Mets history have had more RBIs in a game than Lindor tonight. Delgado had the 9 RBI game at Yankee Stadium, and Dave Kingman had an 8 RBI game. On and out to right center, Oriano eases over. And it's tonight. It's a run on back-to-back doubles by Nimmo and Marte. It's 13-4 in the second.
Porque ya me
Bottom of the sixth inning, Steven Nagosic. Facing Ryan Noda, who was 0 for 2 in a walk in this game. Nagosic got the final line of the fifth inning. Senga not quite going the 5 innings necessary to qualify for a win, but it wasn't his best outing anyway.
Difficult circumstances. It seemed like he had a half hour between each inning.
Senga through 3 starts has seen his run average tonight go up from 1.59 to 3.38. His next start likely will be against the Giants. So, as you probably know, the Mets added 2 young broadcasters to the radio booth this year. And Keith Brad has been doing every game with Howie, and Howie's got this trip off. So, as Strike 3 called it, note is on. So, tonight is Pat McCarthy's first Major League game to be play-by-play, and he got this game. I mean, imagine this being your first Major League game on the radio.
There he is, waving. He just texted me. He's lost 15 pounds.
Well, his dad would be proud. Of course, Tom is one of our great friends, the TV voice of the Phillies, Mets broadcaster in his own right. And now Pat is stepping into that role as pre- and post-game host and the third man in when Howie takes a well-timed vacation.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you couldn't pick a better one than this, right?
Both those young men just so great. Great to be around. Talented.
It's amazing to me the amount of young broadcasting talent that is starting to bubble up right now.
Why is that, you think?
I think that the training starts earlier. I think that the idea of it as a career has become a more tangible goal. For guys from a younger age, they've got broadcasting camps now. Rooker hits with a deep to right center, him a back to the wall, and it's out of here. Brett Rooker, his 4th home run in the last 3 games as he takes the Joseph team. He hit his 3rd home run of the night, makes it 13-5 New York. Well, we mentioned earlier about Rooker, the first-round draft pick by the Twins out of Mississippi State, always expected to be a big power guy in the big leagues, and is finally getting his chance with the A's.
I mean, they picked him up on waivers. The Kansas City Royals. Before this year, he had played 81 games, batted 200. But you can see the power that he has in that foot down in time, and that ball just has
Give me.
88.
Rooker making space for himself in the lineup for the A's. 4 home runs now in the last 3 games. Rihanna pops one up in the shallow left. And McNeil has it lined up.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jerry. And there's also, I think, there seems to be so many more opportunities. So that's why
Well, it's just past midnight in Manhattan. This is no time to be cute. Jace Peterson has already struck out 3 times today. Chance for a golden sombrero in the 6th inning. These teams have generated a whole lot of plate appearances tonight. That's light off and it goes sick. He scrambles after it, but Peterson will be safe at first, and now he'll search for Negosic, who dangles his right arm after taking that shot, and the trainer will come out down below.
I thought he got hit in the back. Maybe it caught his arm because his back was to the plate, but he's shaking his right arm.
He hit him in the back of the shoulder, maybe the shoulder blade.
See, watch him turn his back.
Oh, square in small of the back.
Right below the 5 and 85. And that's kind of smart and leave the mark. Shaking at his arm.
No, that's kind of odd, right?
Did it carry him? I thought it just carried him right off his back. But
He's pointed with no shoulder. It's not. Shades of Wally Whitehurst. The man with the seams on his body. Well, he was a second ball pitcher, and he had more balls get off his person than anybody I've ever seen. Negosic's going to come out after taking that bullet off his back. And the Mets did not have anybody warming up, so scrambled to get the next man ready. It looks like Dennis Santana's taken off his warm-up.
it's real time. You can hear it hitting the flesh. The ghost.
So the new pitcher will get as long as he needs to warm up. And Curtis or Santana. 6th inning, that's up 13-5. We'll be right back.
Along with Bill Martin. Would you object to Mr. Trio being in our bullpen? I don't know. As long as we're doing nice starts, he stays there.
That's Yogi, man. That is so fantastic. That was right before Game 1 of the World Series. Billy Worth had gotten hurt, but the A's were not allowed to replace him on the roster. And He said, "Can I keep?" Dick Williams said, "Can we keep Manny Trio in uniform even though he's not active?" He said, "As long as he stays in the bullpen of the fight." I said, "That's fantastic." Of course, there was another huge controversy involving a player and the roster later in the series after Mike Andrews made a couple of errors. Charlie Finley tried to fire him in the middle of the World Series, take him off the roster. The commissioner said no, he has to stay on. And Mike Andrews wound up pinch hitting in Game 4 at Shea Stadium, got a standing ovation from Met fans after his reported firing. This case won the series after the Mets took a 3-2 lead back to Oakland. Yogi decided to go with Seaver Matlack on short rest instead of George Stone, and the A's have their second straight World Series championship, and they're going to be celebrating that 50th anniversary here on Sunday. A lot of the A's players will be returning for that.
You talked about Mike Andrews after that game 2. He went home. He lived in Amity, Mass. Went home, then finally came back, pinch hit in Game 4 that you were talking about, where the Shea fans gave him a standing ovation. I just found out today that he would never play another game in the big leagues. That was it. I didn't know that until today. We'll try again.
Well, the Mets were a miracle in '73. I mean, everybody talks about the miracle Mets. The fact that the Mets were in the World Series in 1973, out of the world, we watched that team for most of the season. They had injuries. They were in last place on August 30th. Last place on August 30th. They only made 2 games. It was actually least that year, but then they upset the Reds in the championship series, and then took the A's to the later.
Then Santana took 12 just tosses, started his warm-up after the injury to Wilson. And 8 fastballs from the mound, 5 breaking balls, 4 changeups, 3 breaking balls, 2 fastballs, a change, and fastballs, and ready to go. Add it up. 9, 2, 4, 6.
As Diaz reached an opposite field base hit. Chase Peterson to first and third. So the A's are being pesky again. They're down by 8 runs. But they've got a couple of minutes more here in the 6th.
Yeah, so 36 total to get ready for this inning. And greeted by Diaz, fastball away. And it goes that way. Always been a real solid, sometimes better than solid offensive player, Lucas Diaz.
Santana's last outing was in a high leverage situation. He was brought into a 1-run game against the Padres. And Xander Bogaerts took a deep for a 2-1 homer that turned a 2-1 game into a 4-1 game. The Mets would lose that game 4-2. Now brought in to try and give the Mets some length in the middle of this game. Connor Cable's had a nice day at the ladies, 2 for 1. The A's now have a dozen hits in this game. They've added the Mets 12-8. The Mets taking advantage of 12 walks and 2 hit batsmen, leading 13-5. Peterson at third, Diaz at first with 2 out. Change up by Santana until 2. Santana picked up on waivers from Minnesota late in spring training. And so they're still trying to figure out what they have in Santana. On the inside corner, got a looking. Side retired. Home run by Rooker gets the A's a little closer. It's 13-5. Blades off against Chad Smith, who has been the most effective reliever for the A's so far into the first light beating the pressure. Alonso 1 for 3 tonight. More runs than anybody in baseball, more RBIs than anybody in baseball since his debut in 2019. Smith probably falls behind 2-0. So Sarah Lang says starting to do some research on the Mets. 2-6 run on 1 hit innings. And she's got back to 1957. And the Mets are the first team since at least then to have 2 innings in 1 game with this 6 runs on 1 hit. In fact, since 1974, it's only happened twice in a season. Once. So Mets have done something rather extraordinary today.
Well, thanks to Sarah. She's always adding to our broadcast, and we're always thinking about her each and every day.
Yeah, it's to everybody's broadcast.
Yeah.
Count to Alonso. Try and count. Okay. This is the 10th full count. Actually, isn't that many? No. See how many walks that. That's it. Toward the Holder Pizza Board to start the 7th. The second hit of the night, third time on base.
Well, it's 2 pitches down, then he's got 2 hits. There's the ghost trying to get the ghost. Just giving him away.
Get out of the way because the security guards wouldn't let him post them, and Senga's out of the game anyway. So.
Nice. That is an 80s jacket right there that he's got on.
Yeah, it's the 25th anniversary jacket. 62 to 86 bench. Jeff McNeil hit by pitches last time. He was 0 for 3.
Yeah, you were saying 10 full counts. Did Max have 8 in his last start in 5 innings?
He did. But he gave up only 1 hit.
Yes.
Go here on Sunday at the final game of the series. It's Carrasco tomorrow. Big start now. Something good to happen. It's now 13 runs and 9 hits. The A's 5 runs and 12 hits. The Mets played a 3-hour game in this year.
They did. One. Yeah.
We'll play another one tonight. It's the longest 9-inning game in baseball this year. Things like that.
When I was looking up the 73 World Series, I saw that Game 6, I believe, was 2 hours and 7 minutes. Game 7 was 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Yeah, well, that used to be the norm. 3-1 to McNeil, and there's strike 3 and 2, and there's 11 for hits. I think we counted them on some of the others.
They're trying to set records everywhere.
Three-two coming to McNeil, and Duke bounce off the fastball. And the ball back on deck.
You have to applaud this Chad Smith as Jerry's Familia gets up in the bullpen for the A's. But in today's game, if you're out in this kind of game and you pitch 2 or 3+ innings, you don't get applauded, you get demoted.
Yep. And that is exactly the case. He's shocked if the A's don't have more pitching boost before tomorrow's game. Rounded on the right side, Kemp gets the out at second, no chance to double up McNeil. 4-6 for his choice, races Alonso first down. Well, there's not a huge crowd here, but the parking lot is packed. Why? Because the Oakland arena Hughes is playing there too.
Oh,
So, I figured that the game would probably be done before the concert, but now I'm not so sure.
and I need a Muse to finish this game.
So Hughes plays Celebration with a bunch of encores outside the Vogelback goal. It's not great what's happening to this franchise right now. It's shocking that folks are staying away. Now, there's a lot wrong with this ballpark. The right is that they've got ample parking and a art station as transit that stops right at the corner, right in front of the ballpark. So it's easy to get to. Closer to the Howard Terminal proposal is the one that is most prominent to get this franchise closer to downtown.
Finished with the heater, the other heater. Last row of stadiums in these kind of games, be careful, beware.
Well, you might not want to put the camera up there because you never know exactly what you might find.
Our director is the pointer. Because the heater, because the other heater we just saw.
Ma'am say it as warm as he can. 3-1 to Vogelback. And Daniel bounces one on the right side. Snag by Kodai out at second. And no relay. So why no relay?
I mean, he threw the last one and then didn't throw this one.
The pitcher got over to cover nicely.
Nice play by first baseman Noda.
So 2 out Vogelback at first, and now Escobar is over for 3 and walk tonight. Although now he listened to the last 12 at bats. He goes after the first breaking ball, nothing in front.
Lord, the only two that have not walked in this game. Lindor because he's been too busy driving runs.
And we give better than that.
That's right.
It's like an asterisk.
Yeah.
It's really blowing it. Standpoint of trying to set the record for walks in a 9-inning game. They've won at all the last 2.
That's a lot to do with Mr. Smith.
Wow, but he's got 3 walk counts in the first 3 batters of the game. Having to seal the deal. One to Escobar, Bolton back at first. And he bounces this one on the right side for Kemp. And that retires the side. 7th inning stretch time, 13-5 here. Al installed the bay lights on the bridge in 2013. But in March of this year, they had to shut down the lights because the elements had made the lights so decrepit that they were burning out.
They've had some harsh weather here this past winter.
That would do it. And they didn't have the money for the upkeep, so they're trying to raise $11 billion to double the number of LED lights and put the big lights back up on the bridge.
And it's so beautiful. It's lit up, right? Real Real is yellow.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Another yellow. Lyle is yellow, right?
Yes.
It's driven toward the gap in right center, back toward the fence and off the wall. Off the bat of Langoliers, his third hit of the night. Home run, a single, and now a double for Langoliers. That starts the bottom of the seventh.
He's been on time here tonight. Imagine catching all those walks by his pitching and still mentally staying in the game offensively.
That's a great point. Mentally and physically.
I mean, just admiration.
Here's his delivery. Ruiz is 2 for 3. And he hits one of the air right, chasing Marte back a few strikes. He'll get to this one and make a catch. Taking going over to third as Langoliers, 1 out. So, you know, the A's played in Baltimore yesterday. So they crossed the country and played tonight. The Padres played at Citi Field Wednesday afternoon. They flew across the country, played last night. And got beat by the Brewers and lost again tonight. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you gain 3 hours going East Coast to West Coast, but teams should have a day off. Just the way they have a day off like West Coast to East Coast.
Baseball has got to do a better job. I'd like to feel as though they care when they're making out the schedule. But when things like that happen, you feel like they don't.
Tony Kemp flies this one out to right, tagging in third. Langoliers. Marte makes the catch. Langoliers heads for the plate, and he scores on the sacrifice line by Kemp to make it 13-6. Double 2 fly balls, and the A's pick another run away. That's 29 runs for the A's in the last 4 games. So the offense is holding up their end. Pitching and goes.
Gary, you do getting 3 hours. But I don't know about you. I was up at 3:30 this morning, just reading and reading, and so you don't get the sleep you'd like.
Well, you certainly don't adjust in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's just impossible.
I mean, I felt perfect today, right? But that was one day.
You got the off.
That's right.
Speed.
You're also playing with best athletes in your game, risking injury. They always talk about load management, proper sleep. Well, that works against both.
Fastball by Santana. And, you're not making it easier by going to this schedule now where everybody plays everybody and de-emphasizing the division games where at least you have a little less lengthy travel.
We're not even into if some of these games get canceled, these interleague games, how are you going to make them up? But
Then you're going to have to squeeze one off days, fly in for one off. Just off the corner from Santana and it's soon to. And I understand the motive, but it's not worth what you expect. That it's worse for the teams on the West Coast, because obviously spread out. The Mets play interleague games in Baltimore and Boston, and they're close by. Anyway, here's the road ahead. This radio home for the Mets is WCBS 880 and streaming on the Free Odyssey.
This is a must for me because this lets me know what time the game is tomorrow.
It's 4 o'clock Eastern, which is 1 o'clock Pacific. And that's the next 2 days. Although the game will start late on Sunday because they're having this 73 World Series commemoration ceremony.
50 years. Imagine that.
So they're having a little trouble with the heater, which was just making the dugout a bit warmer. I wonder if the Possum got it.
I think replacing your lights now, Gary, is not the limit.
We've come full circle. One hits went out to deep right, but the ballpark rolled it, and Marte goes back to get it. That's 4 fly balls to right of the inning, and a run for the A's. It's 13-6 Mets run of the A's. Bring it. Going to hold me to that. No matter how late you go into the night here. Jerry Spadea comes on the bench. New shortstop Kevin Smith for the A's. And Tyler Wade, the former Yankee, will make his A's debut. He's playing right field. Luis Fiore is on base 4 times tonight, 3 walks and a single. Familia fires a strike 1-1.
Only time you see Familia's record so far in this season, ERA all right. Only 2 walks and 5 1/3. One time I ever lost Gary out, you guys from San Francisco, it was an extra inning game. And Gary and I were there so late that he and I were worried about traffic getting back home. That's how late it was.
That was the one with the single.
Yes.
So like 15 innings, routed to the left side, and grabbed by Peterson. That was on the first 15,000 fans of the Mets and Braves game, April 29th, will get a handmade robots Mr. Met figurine from Bomba. Tickets, get to Mets.com/tickets.
Never know what you're going to read.
So I think it was 15 innings, and the Seagulls came out to the point where we couldn't use our center field camera because they were obscuring the view. So there's so many Seagulls between center field and
You know how I knew I lost Gary? He's so buttoned up. His tie was a little askew. His hair was not perfect.
Bust.
Oh,
Nito's over 2. He's walked twice tonight. Jerry's Kodai, now 33 years old. Still holds the Mets' single season saves record. In 2016, he saved 51 games. Second score with the A's. The Mets set up to Oakland the first time in 2018. And back for stops with the Phillies and Red Sox.
you know, sometimes we're reminded, that's franchise record, I say it's reminded of how long we've been doing this job. The other day when we got the cake this is our 18th year.
Nito strikes out 2 outs.
Nito goes down. I can remember like it was yesterday. Being on those backfields in World Series, I watched Jay Reese when he was still the starting pitcher and saying, "Oh, this kid has a chance." And boy, he did a lot of good things on that chance.
I remember the first time he came to Citi Field. He was a minor leaguer, but he won one of the minor league awards. And the flies went out to left. And the first thing he asked was, "How do you pronounce your first name?" And he said, Jay Reese. Jay Reese. That's the important thing that ever happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, against the 13. Oh, 8th inning, Brent Rooker, who homers last time up, leads off against Tennessee. Adams already worked an inning of the 3rd in relief. Steven DeGosi left after being hit by a line drive in the back. And so Santana has had to soak up some innings. Rooker then Tyler Wade and Jace Peterson do up for the A's in the 8th. So the Cubs beat the Dodgers in LA tonight, 8-2. Big game for you to have them just on contract extension of 4 RBIs. But it was a game in which we learned of a new unintended consequence of the pitch clock. Slider in for strike 2-2. The former star comes back with his new team and gets a standing ovation before his first at bat and gets called for a pitch timer violation. Cody Bellinger got a standing ovation from the Dodger fans as Rooker strikes out. And before he gets down to the batter's box, he's acknowledging the fans. And they called him for a a strike.
Who was behind the plate on that? Have some feelings, bro.
Well, that's going to be one of those memos that goes out tomorrow to umpires saying, hey, use your discretion, guys getting an ovation, it will break. So, wait. There have been like half a dozen of these memos that have gone out as these little things have come up.
Obviously, I should be not criticizing them. They've been great. You know, such a difficult job. I should have a feel and give them a break. Not to ask. That would be one you would hope that before you went out, you were prepared for already. You know?
You got to know that's going to happen, right? Tyler Wade making his debut just got called up today. He's quite a bit playing for the Yankees. They all over the place on speed. Timeout.
The 2-strike timeout.
The way the umpires all out spin out to the side, signal timeout. Didn't know. Topped up the first base line. Off the mound comes Santana. And did he tag him? I believe he did. It's out. I mean, they were on a collision course, and the fielder is entitled to the ball, and the base runner is supposed to avoid him if he's in the act of fielding the ball, which Wade didn't exactly do. But at some point during that coming together along the line, there was a tag made.
Well, was he calling for obstruction? Because I never thought he tagged him.
He did right there.
Okay.
I thought he marked him right at the end.
Well, fighting for some playing time, hustling up his way.
I mean, he did make a move to the inside to sort of try to avoid Santana, but he didn't call for interference. Although Santana had the ball before Wade arrived. Tag was definitely made.
And it looked like Santana might have been spiked in the back as he fell.
And the trainer is out there to make sure he's okay. And I guess he convinced him quickly that he was. Very odd game tonight.
This is ugly. As Santana picks it up. Good play here, though. Puts his hand out to try to brace himself. Gets the hand, gets the shoulder, tagged him, got on the leg, and then got spiked. He got out of the way.
Peterson 1 for 4 tonight. He's the guy with the ball off and then goes to his back, not going to get out of the game. Yeah, they goes out of the game. Not the last game standing. It's looking like in Seattle. Mariners lead the Rockies 5-3 over tonight. And a half swing. Peterson went around 1-2.
Jerry, I was involved in the play when I was with the A's in Fenway Park. Very similar play, tagging the runner going first. Ended up on all fours as the runner ran over me. They took that picture. That was my baseball card next year. I have to sign that all the time. 2-hit shutout.
And Lindor on the face to cross the line, trying to retire Peterson. He should be getting a little had a great picture of you with your son before. I'm all for it. Lindor added this big night with all the grab. Ninth inning, Starling Marte leads off against Jerry Sevilla and takes a strike. Marte's been on base 5 times tonight. Infield hit 3 once, double. Driven 2 and scored 2. It's a big night. By Familia to get ahead 0-2. Second inning for Jay Reese, who worked the 1-2-3-8. We have our 3-hour game. So you get all of it already.
That's it. That's it. I mean, it was an amazing defensive play, but you would think the shutout would take precedent over that, and I have to sign that card all the time.
You know, everybody's got one of them throwing a fastball. Not everybody has one of them.
Oh, that's just oh my goodness.
Look like you're ready for anything. And Marte is retired for the first time tonight. Then he gets the slider. 4 up and 4 down to Familia. High speed inning brought to you by Spectrum 1. Pete Alonso, 7th inning single. The hardest hit ball, but the most productive night has belonged to Francisco Lindor, who has tied his career high with 7 runs batted in on 2 big swings, a grand slam in the second and a 3-run double in the 5th.
These are the games that I marvel at the everyday player. A guy like Lindor plays every day, that mentally they can just stay in on the game where, I mean, let's face it, I kind of checked out about 2 minutes ago. And it's amazing to me. That's how they're made. It's an innate talent. No, I shouldn't say it's not an innate talent. They work really hard in the final days to get to this point.
Lindor had his hand fly off the bat on that last swing, and that's some time to try to recompose himself. John Curtis is up in the Mets bullpen. Looks like they'll get the bottom of the 9th. Watches the splitter down 1-2. Kevin Smith, Connor Capel, Shea Langoliers do up Oakland bottom 9. It's led this game since the second. And 2 6-run innings. 2-2-2. In each of the 6-run innings, featured only 1 hit, and each time that hit was by Lindor. Very odd game, to say the least. 12 walks in the first 5 innings, but none since.
None since. I just looked at that. I just said it.
And Lindor draws a walk. That's 13 walks for Oakland pitching tonight. It held 170 out of 221 innings.
Well, the push 2 hits in the second inning after 5 walks. First pitch against that. That's next. Was after 4 walks and a hit by pitch.
Here's Lonzo's 4 walk. It's a lot of top ball. It was 7 3 2/3. Hogan Harris won 5 1/3 of an inning. Familia adding the Baker's dozen walk here in the 9th. Tribute for 31 days out. Mike, we're 31 days. Sure. Yeah, now 3-1 to Alonso with Jeff McNeil on the.
They wore 17 with the A's, just 12 in the stage. An infielder, Lance Blankenship. I don't know if you remember that player. I do. And then number 15 was taken by Tommy Reynolds, the third base coach.
And there's ball 4, so back-to-back walks by Familia add to the Mets total. That's 14 of them. Don't miss a single Mets moment with the SNY app. Scan the code and download today. So and now Jeff McNeil, who won tonight for everybody else is productive. He is having come frustrated tonight. Those guys have not been frustrated.
They haven't stopped the entire game. A lot of energy. Like interviews working.
Mike did were at 31 with the A's, were at 33 with the Padres, but then finished his career in Oakland last year, 2007. McNeil's over for 4 and a walk, and he takes one of his feet for ball 1. Got a little Big Lebowski going on there.
Yeah, the dance is to maybe the beat of reggae. What do you think?
Some beat inside of their own brains.
Right.
Yeah, I don't hear any music coming out of that section. They're not wearing any kind of headphones or AirPods. So the music's coming from somewhere.
I can see the No Woman, No Cry. I can see that. It's right on tune.
We've seen this before when he has trouble throwing strikes. Sometimes the plate becomes a mystery. You know, there was a time in baseball when you got to this point of the game, a lopsided game, everybody was swinging the first pitch.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't go that way anymore. Everybody knows that they've got a lot on the line in every plate appearance, and nobody's giving in. So after 2 straight walks, today's falling behind McNeil 3-1. Ball back waiting on deck.
McNeil to Familia. My bad. Throw me a strike, please. I need a knock.
And there's another walk. 3 in a row. Third different pitcher to walk at least 3 in a row tonight for the A's. That's 15 for the game. So maybe the Mets do have a shot at 18. On the Sports Night comes up after the post game, whatever that is. All the day in baseball, all the basketball previews. So the longest 9-inning game in Major League Baseball this year is 3:38, and now we're at about 3:14. So 3:38 would be difficult to obtain in a 9-inning game, but you never know.
Not impossible. The way this one's
The
going.
way it's going, you just never know. Way having trouble throwing strikes now.
Somebody has the Mets to a 13-run pool. They're probably going, oh my God, they're smoking me. It's going to kill me. Even though it's second week.
And now 2-0 to
The
Oakland.
other guy goes, I'm fucking that lost.
Here we go.
Whoever has the Mets. Here you go from week to week.
Number 1.
That's the last day to the start over tomorrow.
Just 1. And there's ball 3. There's ball 4. And ball 4. Okay, well, that's all I need. So 4 straight walks for the Familia. And the Mets fan will not rise 14-6. I guess I shouldn't say anything about the unhandled 18 walks, because now they're at 16, and now it's definitely a 10. Wow. I mean, Ronnie, I've never seen anything like this before.
This is the third time it's been what? 3 walks.
Well, we had a stretch of 4 walks and a hit by pitch by Harris, and the stretch of 4 walks by Brilliant.
5 walks and 6 batters with fly out.
Carlos Perez was a catcher by trade. Is up in Oakland.
You got to be down by a certain amount of runs, though, right?
They're down by 8, which is the number.
Okay.
Why are we having a conversation? I thought that was ball 3. They may need to get on board with New York. Yep, they're gonna go to the headset.
338's been reached. Okay. Well, maybe not. He's just talking to Kansai.
I think he might. I mean, if it was ball 3, then he's probably explaining that.
I mean, I had it as ball 4. Vogelback had it as ball 4. Now it's this kind of sick visit out there for Kansai.
Oh, I don't know if it's a visit or not. You got to run out there by the home plate umpire.
Yeah.
So it was 4 balls. So they're going to make a pitching change. Yeah. The question, well, we're allowed to make a pitching change and bring in the position players unless you're down by 8, and they're down by 8.
They were short about
Carlos Perez will come in to pitch. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. On pitch.
Eduardo Escobar, that's what he is. So he couldn't be able to hit a home run for a super lucky.
It's the right hand. Even though he's not a pitcher. Long there. Right there. Can't wait for his next at bat. He wants a triple.
49.5 miles an hour.
I don't know if it was a slider, but 49 was. By the way, the Mets have thrown 16 walks, tying the club record. And believe it or not, they set the record in 1962 against the Dodgers and their pitchers. And Escobar drives one down the line for a base hit. That'll bring in Alonso. It'll bring in McNeil. It rolls around the corner. Vogelback up right to the stop third. Escobar with a 2-run double. And Cash coming forward with the Mets. And it's 16-6. Escobar needed a hit. You got a position player on the mound.
Nobody probably seen this game on the opposite side. Tell them what happened in the league.
Now here's Guillorme. And he takes one the other way, and that's a base hit, and that'll drive it both back. Escobar was over to third, so Guillorme on base. This close on Pavilion against tracking 4 runs.
How many people
One
do
no
they have?
hits. They had 2 6-run innings, and now they have a 4-run ninth, and it's only 1 out.
So it's usually
So when the Mets threw 16 walks against the Dodgers, June 29th at Dodger Stadium in 1962, Joe Bowler won 4, Ron Peronowski won 3, Phil Ortega won 1, and Stan Williams in 5 innings of relief won 8, for a total of 16 walks, which is the Mets club record, but it might be broken in a moment. Nope, Vito Swing pops it up. Kept waiting for it. Against day 1. That's it. So that's them.
The walk 16. Finish the game having to use an everyday player. Just not a good look for baseball or our cup to days.
It's a second appearance on mound this year. To the season. Runs his first time up. And Nimmo pops one up. And Paris wants to catch it. And he doesn't. It goes foul. Never touched it. It's a foul ball. Why is the third baseman Anderson not calling him off?
I think he just he thought that his pitcher, catcher, thrower wanted a chance to end the 9th inning. That move. I mean, just cue up the circus was
His fortune didn't touch it, otherwise it would have been a fair ball.
He did.
And they call it no play. Not good in there. Yeah, pretty close to
He did.
3-2 to Nimmo, and he pops this one foul.
I wonder if the laces matter on that.
Not on the tag.
It's not a big deal.
This is ours.
I mean, it started being ridiculous in the 5th inning. We had a pitcher out there for a strike, 5 guys in the ninth. And it hasn't gotten any better.
Sit up here and criticize things. It's just it's a farce with another walk here.
There is a club record 17 walks, 5 of them in this inning. Shy of Major League record for 9 inning game.
This is their 14th game. 100 whatever it needs to go.
The Astros went back for Marte and ran up in the inning. Marte cut off the inning with a strikeout against Familia, then won the next 4 and left, giving way to Perez, who was a catcher trying to pitch and get the last out here at the top of the 9th. Long strike to Castro. Now off the right side and beyond notice.
Trying to end the game.
And that's a third and 2-2. 6 runs in the second, 6 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 4 runs home here in the 9th. Castro base. Flies one out to left. Playable for Cable, and that finally puts an end to the